we should have audio now. And then, let's see for visual. Where are we? Webam! Hello everyone. We are here. Honest.
There's Orion.
It's me. I'll put some lights on. There we go. I don't look as deathly. Let me turn this off though in the background. So, here we are for the Keepers of the Golden Gate, session 57, and truly the end of 56, but session 57 totally. It is the 24th of July 2020. Again, Ryan the GM here. Here are the players.
Hiya, I'm Adrian, and I play Arya Bluebird, the Half-Elf Druid.
Hello, I'm Sean. I play Bastiel, the Warforged Cleric.
Hi, I am Scott. I'm playing Crumbar, who's the half-orc paladin.
Excellent. And we may or may not have a Kitlith joining us later on. We shall see. So guys, what do you remember from last time?
Where?
Internet breaking. Me threatening a woman down an alleyway.
Yep. That sadly is a thing. Yep. You did.
No, I wouldn't. No, I didn't. I didn't threaten her. I intimidated her. There's a difference.
I don't even know if you intimidated her though. I think that's the thing. I feel like you tried to, right?
Oh yeah, she thought you were an ape by the end of it.
So.
But yes, found that we ran into seemingly high-ranking lady, and we had a conversation with her. Eventually, she realizes that we've lost a couple of our friends, and she agrees to help us find them in this town. She knows far better than us. We go around looking for them, eventually settling down to have a meal with her, and then over that meal, we find out that she isn't necessarily the biggest fan of Magna. And I end up spilling a whole plan to her, and I'm attempting to turn her into an ally, bonding over a mutual dislike for Magna.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it?
Essentially. Anybody else got anything else to
add? To be honest, like I feel like we should say
I wasn't
more.
sure that was a good idea.
Yes.
Oh, you know me. I'm always for just sticking feet in it. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say like battering. Oh, that was one thing that happened that was very important. I drank undiluted honey mead.
That is very true. Yep. The honeyed wine. Yep. Or honey wine, I guess. Yeah. With the hot water to dilute it, and you were just like, nah, man. Tasty and glorious. Salted wine as well. Yep, that was another thing.
I was like, what?
That was to go with the raw eel and the giant octopus with your dipping ink. Yep. Man, I feel like, again, I still strongly believe that this was mostly just like a food lover's RP. If you go back and watch all of the scenes about food, it's the most detail we ever put into the RP.
That was, yeah, because she was actually eating eagle.
No. Eel.
Eagle. Eagle.
Bring me an eagle.
Oh dear. Poor eagles. But no. Eagle. But yes. Anything else? It wasn't Decana, so that's something.
Yes, it was a complete stranger.
Or is that us? That was caught up?
I think
yeah, like really, we got to obviously our wee private room and our private like dining room thing in the restaurant. She was really the only thing that we found out is that she was the kind of assistant to the mayor,
Yeah,
governor.
The governor, yeah. So assistant to the governor. I think it was advisor. I think I said.
Advisor, yes.
Yeah, advisor to the governor. I believe was.
That
her word.
sounds like more of a Ryan word. Yeah.
Right, it does, doesn't it? I'm just going to write that down to make sure I haven't actually just like forget that in the future. So, advisor to the governor. I think I may even have said special advisor. Special advisor to the governor. And that is what her title always was. Now. Right. If that's us caught up then, let's just jump in and we'll finish our wonderful meal then. We left the meal in terms of you wondering what to say fully to her, to like come clean about everything, or to just give her like the cliff notes, as it were. So maybe let's start there, where it's like you three, Crumbar, Bastille, and Arya just looking between each other with the eyes, saying, "Should we tell her more?"
Arya's obviously kind of like, the fuck you guys doing? We don't know if we can trust her.
Yeah. Kind of does involve, you know, some form of wrapping up of the dinner conversation. What we thinking? What's the chat?
On you, buddy. Bastille.
I say, let's go for it.
I say let's go for it.
Because she knows so much that...
What's the worst that can happen? We have to beat up a bunch of waiters? Oh no.
Yeah, and plus she already knows so much that we only lose if we don't get something out of her now. Because we've overextended.
Yep, we have.
So we have to push a tiny bit more just to get those diamonds.
Throwing good money after bad money, I think, is the term you're looking for.
Yeah. Exactly.
Although it's throwing good money after questionable money, since we don't know it's bad money yet. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Let's do this.
So, yeah.
Oh, trying to get comfortable. There we go.
So are we ending on the words, the Winter King?
No, I think we had that scene. In fact, that's probably a good place to go. And she goes, because I think he's mentioned the Winter King being a woman, and that was a big deal. That came up.
Yeah.
So that was obviously a massive thing, and I know that's when it sparked Arya's like, I wish we hadn't said that, you know.
Right.
Moment.
Yeah, and then she said, like, why isn't Celeste doing this for us if she's so powerful? And I mentioned how we need help from everyone that we can get.
Yeah.
And all the people that we've met along the way. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're not going to tell her about the beer.
No. You haven't, so far things you haven't told her about was Gil in the Abyss, right? The whole, everything about Gil, essentially. And everything about Ermos.
Cool.
But the crown still sat on the table, I think, right? So.
Right. Okay. It is. Right in front of me.
Yep.
Where my food would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
A meal of a different kind, you could say. A meal for the mind. No, I meant just the topic of conversation that brings up. That's what I meant.
Oh, right, yeah.
Not just sitting chewing on the Dwarf King's crown like a pretzel.
Make me stronger. Okay. Then I'll say to her after all of that, I will say, so, what say you for the benefit of all these people you seem so fond of in this land? Would you contribute on your king's behalf, behind his back for the greater good?
It's kind of like, you know, fork in mouth, you know, as she like pulls off a piece of eel, you know, the fork kind of gets pulled out between her lips and she looks at you kind of smiling, you know, as she's consuming the last of her dinner and or lunch, I guess it was for you guys. And then picks up her, you know, her tablecloth, dabs her or her napkin, I guess. Cloth of the table? I don't know, whatever. She dabs, obviously, and then dabs her, and then dabs her lips. And then she kind of like smiles the whole time, you know, like she's desperate to say something to you, but it's also really amusing for her. She's making almost a bit of a show of it. And she sits there. And then she sips some of the salted wine, sits it down, glass and looks at you and she says, "What exactly did you have in mind of someone so unimportant as myself?" And she smirks gloriously.
You guys want to say anything on that?
Well, you're the one that started telling her
yeah,
all this stuff. I don't know what you want from her.
I don't want to just talk for 15 minutes. You know?
I kind of don't.
Yeah, I don't know where you went with this. Like, I don't know what you think we can
keep going.
get from her.
If you have
Like,
nothing
if she
Yeah.
was like a massive freaking sort of like warrior and stuff, I'd be like, join our cause. You know, that would be the obvious. Like,
Send her to
that's
the
what
abyss
she
to
wants
hand them
here.
all admin forms.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's like it would make sense. I would know what you could want from her, but like I genuinely don't really understand as a player or a character, like why you're telling her all this and how she could be of help. So I don't know why you told her. So yes,
Okay.
keep on talking to her. Because I have no
Alright.
idea what you want.
Alright, Crumble.
Mate, again, I don't know what help you think she can be. I mean,
Okay.
the way I see it is I'm like, you're not Decana, not giving a shit.
Fair enough.
Mm.
Okay.
So you've just got her, like, you know, sapphire blue eyes shining back at you, right? And she's smirking, waiting on a response.
I'll say. So come now. I've read your confidence. I've seen your position. I know you have connections, and I know you have the confidence to speak your mind against Magna.
Okay.
Something more to you.
She definitely raises an eyebrow as you're talking to her. You definitely, like, piqued her interest. Maybe it's just because you're being incredibly complimentary.
Yes.
But yeah.
Butter her up.
So you've got her on the hook, right? But what's gonna reel her in?
I'm gonna reel her in.
Mm.
Someone dance. Oh, I don't know.
Dungeon Belly climbs on the table very slowly, kind of does a wee roll, stands up, eventually takes a deep breath, starts doing a wee jig, and then she just leaves. No, none of that happens. So, Bastille.
They. You know about rumors. You don't have to collect information, seemingly information that wouldn't normally be available to most people.
1 second,
How about we
Arya,
start
you're coming through.
What's coming through? Oh,
Audio.
Feedback.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's okay, Karen. So
sorry.
rumors.
How about we start with some eyes and ears?
Do you wish a collection of body parts assembled? She just kind of like smirks and sips more wine.
I'll look towards the body parts all over our table right now, and then I'll just tap the crown and I'll say, "None for me, thank you."
I think, like, as she's like sipping her wine, she just kind of like nods with the glass, and then sits the glass back on the table and looks to the other two. You guys are very quiet during your meal. Do you have anything to ask of me alongside your solitary companion here?
I'll just like.
Count on your discretion on this. This is not something that we would really discuss, as I'm sure you understand.
We're having a private lunch. What more is there to say? She kind of gestures to the curtains around you.
I don't necessarily mean now. I mean henceforth. What we discussed. And can we be assured that it will stay between these curtains?
I think she just moves her eyes back to Bastille and Crumber at that. Because obviously, like, what she has said has not hit the mark, quite frankly.
I'll just like still be like glugging away at this syrupy wine that I'm now drinking. Like,
it's just really thick mead. That's all it is, buddy.
Yeah.
Sugar rush. Just be like that.
A bunch of minstrels break in.
Do you have any what was her name? Her second name? Saphir. That was it.
Yeah.
Do you have any connections to the Saphir family?
She looks up from her plate again, and she goes, "The Saphir family, and what interest do they hold to your cause?"
There's a member of their family who helped us, and I wish to see if they will help us again. FYI, IRL, I understand that she's not, but I'm like, well, if she's using the name, maybe she's been in contact with them. Maybe she,
Maybe. You never know, right? So yeah, it's
I
worth
mean,
asking.
somebody can't go around using somebody else's name, like a name like that, without them clocking on, I'm guessing.
You'd think so, or at least you'd hope so, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah. She says, "And does this person who helped you, of the Saphir family, was it the family in general, or was it a specific member of the family you wish information upon?"
It was this. There you go, Crumbar's
It
not
took me a bit to wrap my tongue around that sentence, by the way, so don't worry about that.
Actually, it was the woman I mistook you for.
Oh. She just looks at you.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, so far you've said, perhaps you could help this amazing quest to save the world by telling us about this rich family. I mean, that's a weird request, so...
I was just like... No, I like put us in contact with them. That's why I was asking, do you have connections to them, with them?
Right, so you've never actually asked that,
though. Okay, fine. It's like, yes, I'm looking to speak to the heads of the family. Would you be able to put me in contact with them?
She kind of like looks kind of down at her meal, and then like almost sits back in the chair a little, like slightly more relaxed, as if she's letting her food settle now. And she says, "I'm sure I could make arrangements with Lord and Lady Saphir if they were willing to meet with you. However, such a request would not come lightly. A mere lunch, unfortunately, would not cut it, as it were. Perhaps if I had more information as to the nature of the help you require from them, I could perhaps suggest more suitable allies."
I was like, it's like, we're helped by a very powerful sorceress.
She kind of narrows her eyes at that, and just kind of looks at you.
We need people with power.
I see. I know not of any sorceress within the Saphir family.
And I'll just be like, well, this sorceress was using their name.
Then she must have done so falsely.
Oh, so she was the fake.
Decana. So after Decana done the boost, Eric kind of revealed to us, it's like, wait a minute, the Saphir family don't have a daughter. Dun dun dun. But I was like, well, and I was just like, fuck, lost my train of thought. Cheese for everyone. I will just say then back to her, I'll be like, well,
she basically said she doesn't know of any, sorceress.
Yeah. Well, this one went by the name of Decana. Is that a name that you have heard of before?
Alas, no. That name is not familiar to me. It does not mean I haven't perhaps written this name down in some record before.
I was just kind of laugh. It was like, Decana Saphir is what she told us her name was. I believe this is information the family would want to know.
I imagine they would. However, what do you imagine they will do with this information?
they may do it with it as they wish. I merely wish to speak to them about gaining assistance for the Golden Order.
I see. And she kind of like sits back up and goes, what kind of assistance can the Severe family provide the Golden Order? What did you have in mind? Do they lack funding? And she looks at the two of you that are covered in gold armor.
Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, actually, this is only gold plated.
Cromber gets exploded because the gold worm is pissed off. You're dissing
them. I'll be like, we need men. No, sorry. We need manpower.
Ooh.
Yep. I will rephrase. We need manpower. They are struggling to hold back this fight, and we need people to fight.
I see. So you want more troops then for this battle of the abyss?
I'm like, I'll take I will take common townsfolk if they're willing to fight.
And perhaps you're speaking to the wrong people then. If you wish to rally the masses, perhaps you should travel through the poorer parts of less fortunate cities and make promises to them, not bring ill news to comfortable, wealthy patrons of Magna. And she kind of like looks at you deliberately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the implication here for Crombar is that if you want an army, rich people that are comfy aren't going to care about your quest against the king, right? Since they're probably rich because of the king.
I will, as she looks at me, I'll just place like one hand on like the hilt of my sword kind of thing that's propped up against the table. Just be like, well, I agree. However, this place came in our travels, which is why we are asking you.
And she looks at you. And she says, I do not know exactly what help the Severe family can provide you and your allies, but...
Sorry, will I be able to interrupt here?
If you want, yeah.
And I was just like, as you've said that, I'll go, that is for them to decide.
And then she kind of looks at you with a bit of a distaste that you've interrupted her. And then she just stops speaking, and then she like picks up her salted wine, takes a drink of it from her glass, pats again her lips with a cloth, and then looks at you and says, as I was saying, I do not know what help the Severe family can provide that you would not find more graciously elsewhere. However, if this is what you request, I'm sure I can make that happen. But I ask again, why would I do this?
Right, guys, why is she going to help us?
Yeah, because I mean, you've also kind of pissed her off a bit.
Yeah, well, remember, I kind of don't want her help. I just kind of want to leave here.
But no, you do. You've asked her to introduce you to the Severe family.
Yeah,
yes.
I want to see where this goes. But if you like fuck it up, though, I do have a line of thought I want to go down.
I'm like, no, but like, guys, like, I'll let you know, I am quite happy to just leave and go to the woods.
Oh, okay.
Like, Scott is quite happy to leave and go to the woods.
Back to the woods.
Crombar
out.
What, sorry?
I could attempt to bail you out of this conversation right now and steer it somewhere else.
Well, just teleport?
Oh, no, because at the end of the day, I'm like, Ryan introduced this woman looking like Saphir, which makes Scott be like...
No, you rolled perception with advantage to find your party members and you got double ones, buddy. Don't put this on me.
I heard the Cana's name. No, was it?
No, that was only after you rolled.
Yeah, but you still mentioned Decana, which makes me think that maybe there's some way to get Decana. I don't know. But either way, Scott's happy to just leave. But I think just now, Crombar will just kind of like be menacingly staring at her and drinking wine.
Oh, God.
Not menacingly staring at her, but you know that way, like kind of locked in eye contact, kind of like, what do you what will you want, kind of thing.
Yeah, what will it take?
She is kind of intimidating to look at, by the way, because I mean her eyes are like kind of piercing, right?
I still like, you know, in Crumbar's head, like I'll be like, is this Dakana? Can she just change her appearance?
Oh, nice.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
right, so let's look at it from Crumbar's point of view. I don't think that's that far-fetched for Crumbar to come to, right?
Not at all.
Given that you think the Dakana's a dragon, which is my favourite part of the logic chain here. So,
I mean,
if the dragon can look like a person, who's to say it needs to be the same person every time,
exactly.
right?
Also, bitch be magic.
I mean,
Mm.
is she?
Dakana was.
Yeah, Dakana is.
Either that or that was a very badly timed lightning bolt.
I told you, she never teleported out, she just died.
She just evaporated.
Yeah, I told you, lightning just struck her. I think I made that joke at the time. Like, you just think she's all mystical and shit, and really the gods just went, fuck you. So anyway, this other woman, right?
Okay.
What's happening with her?
Well, Crumbar's just gonna hold like intimidating eye contact.
You know
Go.
what? I'll reach into my bag and pull out the banded agate that I had.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which we totally didn't steal off of dead bodies. And I'll be like that. It's like, and I'll just kind of like slide it across the table and towards her. They're like, would this help persuade you?
And she just looks at it and picks it up with her very manicured hands and kind of like holds it between like her thumb and her index finger. And she says, "Huh. A rainbow of the earth, I see." She kind of turns it in her hand. And she sits it back down and she rolls it all the way back to you. It probably just like dinks off the jug of, honey wine. And she says,
Remember?
"It is pretty, yes, but of little value to me. Does it do anything special?"
And be like, I'm so tempted to be like, keeps away tigers.
I mean, your bluff's okay. You might get away with that.
I'm just going. Yeah, in fact, let's just say it's like.
But I mean,
It brings
would be utter bullshit, though.
I'll be like, it brings good luck and good fortune.
I see. Right. So do you want to give me your bullshit roll?
That'll be
Deception.
Deception.
Yeah, because it's a
Alright.
rock.
I didn't know if it was going to be performance or not. Boom!
And she looks at it and she goes, "In that case, I would recommend that you keep it with you, given your dangerous quest."
Way.
When she says that, I'll be like, again, place hand like round the blade side of the guard because blade will be sheathed now, and I'll just be like, kind of hold it up and be like, "That's why I have this."
It does look ever so fascinating, your weapon. Would you allow me to see it more closely?
Where am I sitting in regards to her?
I think you were.
So
I feel like you were on one of the sides, right?
So yeah. So say I'm just gonna do that. So say like that's the table.
Right.
I'm assuming she'd probably be at the head of the table, right?
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's a circle.
Weirdly, I had to put her there, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm guessing Arya would be there.
So here's how I've got it. So there,
Right, yeah.
there is this woman.
Mhm.
Here is
Mhm.
where I imagined Arya and Kitty.
Mhm.
I technically imagined you here, and then Bastiel and Dondrabella. I don't know why that's how I.
Right, okay, right, cool. No, that's fine. Just so that I can RP this better. Okay, so I will. First of all, I'll delete those 2 crosses.
I know, I don't know why I put crosses for everyday and realised that doesn't help actually distinguish anything.
Yeah, so I will stand up and just be like, certainly, and I'll walk round past Bastille and Dondrabella, and I will come to like, not like see how like this side, like this part here of the table, so like just at the edge, and I will draw the blade out and like extend it like just across like where her plates and stuff would be, just kind of like it like chest height.
So you are giving her the blade essentially, like as if you're holding the
So
scabbard, and then you're.
Oh no, it's unsheathed. Blade is out, and I'm like holding it like the blade out across the table so that she can look at it, not letting her hold it.
I mean, you're assuming she can hold it, given the fact that it's a great sword. But yeah, so she looks at it. Kind of like places her hands underneath the blade to like help prop it up. And she's kind of taking in the detail of the blade itself, because it is quite an ornate looking thing, right? It is very
Yeah.
pretty.
I don't know if you've still got the picture of it, but yeah, it was pretty.
I mean, you still have the picture of it somewhere in our private chat on Discord. Where that is, it shouldn't be.
See,
that
I
far, frankly.
literally couldn't remember if it was Discord or.
Yeah, it was Discord. I'll quickly scan up and I'll repost it for folks, because
I was just gonna do that.
I'll dump this in our chat. Bam.
Saying that, yeah, you probably found it before me. Yeah, that's a bad boy.
It's pretty. So yeah, she kind of takes in the detail of it, and she says, "And what smith forged this for you?"
I don't know how to answer that.
I'll cut across in and I'll say Destiny. I'll cast Guidance on myself.
It's glowing, chilling at his table.
Yeah.
I'll just like look over to Bastille and just be like, fitting description.
So are you saying this was forged by your Lady of Destiny? And she raises an eyebrow at you, Bastille.
That's right. She does what she can for us. I'm hoping you will too.
I mean, are you lying? Because do you know this? I feel like, how much did Crumbar actually say any of that to you?
Did he say that to anyone? He was actually trying to cover it up, actually, wasn't he?
I've always had the sword, mate.
Like, so,
Yeah.
what I'm asking you, Scott, is have you actually told anybody in the party how you got the sword?
Nope.
Then
not in the slightest.
Nope.
Okay. I'll just say Destiny. Things fall into our hands all the time.
I see. Then I hope when this fell, it was sheathed. She just smiles at you and kind of leans back. And she says, "Thank you for letting me see this. It is a fine work of art."
And I'll just be like, it's like, yes, it's more ornate than other weapons I have used.
I suppose if it helps you defend us against the demon invasion, then it does not matter how pretty it looks.
I'll be like, this does more than that.
She kind of nods.
this helps me remember who I am.
I see. Yeah, there's a look on her face like she's not necessarily sure what to do with that information, right? Like,
I mean,
clearly
would you?
I was gonna say, clearly it's like a deep thing to say to somebody, but she's like searching for like, have I missed the part where I'm supposed to know what that means, right? Like, she's clearly like trying to keep up in the conversation, but obviously you're referring to stuff she has no frame of reference for. So she kind of like, she searches for like a couple of a split second or two with her eyes a little bit at that statement, and then she looks back at you and kind of just smiles and she says, I hope it keeps you safe. So we don't have to remember you.
And I'll just kind of like grin.
Damn.
And I'll be like, oh, I will be remembered. And I'll just, on that, I will walk back to my seat.
I assume you're going to take the sword with you as well.
Yeah, like a sheath it, anyway, like sheath it, so it's like with me, and then it will just like plop, like rest against the table again, and I'll just pick up glass and you know what? See, this time, Crumbar is going to dilute the wine.
Nice.
And
in the 11th hour.
And and just take a sip at it and be like, not bad actually.
I think
just like not to the table, like just to himself, just like
yeah. I think she'll just she'll kind of just nod across the table though while kind of sipping the last of her salted wine, right? As if she knew that all along, but she doesn't need to say that, you know. That's why it comes that way. When she sets the glass down, she says, but sadly the matter still lies before us. You wish my help, and yet have nothing to offer for it. I would be using my political connections to make an audience with the Saphir family happen. Your business is indeed your own regarding this audience you wish with them, but that does complicate the matters. I can hardly send a messenger saying your presence is requested, but I can't tell you why.
Can we put that to the side as one option, and then I want to make another option for that, how she can help us? Basically.
Well, it depends. You can just interject with more conversation.
Yeah, just interject, because I'm done planning on speaking.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm lost.
I don't want to overwrite that with what I say. I want them both to be on the table. And we pick one.
Well, I mean, she's currently said that, so you either address that or you talk about something else, right? That's how dialogue works, buddy.
Alright. I'll say to her, with all due respect to your lord and lady, was it Sophia? Lord and lady Sophia.
Make no mistake, they're not my lord and lady, but they are lords and ladies.
Well, this is my point. I think you're plenty capable enough. We heard from the Golden Order that Magna has recently mobilized against someone within the realms of the living. And as it is our charge to make a pact with almost everyone in the realm of the living, you see how that would complicate things for us. You maybe provide us with information rather than troops. Play in your maybe we can leverage your wheelhouse of talents.
She laughs. It's like she just laughs like quite joyously at that. And kind of like leans back in the chair like comfortable. She kind of like, maybe even holds her stomach a little bit, and then she kind of like wipes away a tear from her eye, and then leans forward and goes, "Forgive me. Such sweet words. It's been so long since I have been volleyed with them." And she just kind of like, you know, laughs a bit more at that, and then she says, "Compliments do not buy favor, unfortunately."
I thought she was going to say it's been so long since I've seen you, and I was like, oh, big plot twist.
Who did you think she was?
Exactly. Well,
That's the person that actually forged you.
yeah.
I mean,
Um,
I feel like that was a male dwarf who's like, you know.
Or is that just how history remembers them? Ooh.
Grumbars on the honeyed wine. Oh dear. Yes.
So, what? Now, now we have two things that we can essentially buy from her. Now, what do we want to trade her?
Yeah. What's the plan? What's the plot?
We are going to trade her Bastille.
I'm cool with that.
Sorry guys, this
Come
is
on,
where
I
I
know you
step
like
out.
this lady, but that much, really?
I don't know. I think she's pretty badass for somebody that was a bad perception roll down an alleyway.
Well, true, but it's, the
That's
idea
like,
of like
that is just
that's
like
your type then, gotcha.
that's such a good insult. You're only bad for a bad perception roll.
Down an alleyway. Let's not forget the key.
Oh.
So we could, since we are going to a number of like Titans, still we could offer her something from them, or along the way, something we have to do for her. That type of thing. Side quest, basically.
Do we really need more of those?
You tell me, talk. What
Yes.
you got?
So I think this is Shan asking the players of the game, what is the direction we take forward?
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Okay.
And
So that's a thing, right? So you've obviously you wanted you've got potential access to somebody that's in a reasonable position within a city, right?
Mm.
Right, it's a very wealthy city.
An enemy city for that.
I mean, what is enemy, right? So keep in mind that your thought process is enemy based on. Also, Arya, you're still coming through, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
But like, the thought process here is enemy city based on what? What the white said?
No, it's based on Magna's beliefs in gods and dragons, and how those are the opposite
What's
of my
his beliefs in dragons?
Doesn't he hate them?
Does he?
I'm pretty sure I've heard that, right?
I think so.
Because or it's the gold worm he hates.
Yeah, because what is the gold worm?
a god. And he is not keen on people worshipping gods.
Yeah, either way, it's the opposite of what I believe, and therefore, I don't see him as an ally, do I?
Hello everybody in chat, welcome and thanks for joining us. Ooh. Yes, so I think for that information though, right, so you're trying to work out if the you're telling me that Magda doesn't like dragons, but that's just not something that Bastille is, like, you can't say that with any confidence. There's no basis for that other than he just doesn't like the Great Gold Worm, which is because he doesn't like gods.
I'll pivot that into gods, and then I'll just say the same thing. He doesn't, we have completely opposite philosophies and beliefs, and my entire life system is built around the exact opposite of what he wants to keep in this world, and hence, that's not an ally to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's kind of my thought process. But if you guys don't even want to do a side quest with this lady, we can peace out. I don't care either way. Well, I do. She's kind of badass, and I feel like she has something cool, but we're going to be doing that anyway.
I'm good with whatever you want to do, bro. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to try and pursue something with her, right? She is the special advisor to the governor of High Rock, right?
Like, yeah,
so,
that'd be cool. But...
How do you think she will help us?
So
like, what do you want to get out of her? That's what I want to know.
So basically, I thought it was really crazy of her to like shrug off Magna in this city, being like clearly she's an important person. So I feel like she could be a spy for us, and we could get intel on him because he's obviously Crumbar doesn't like him, and he is someone we do have to keep track of because he can pretty much do anything he wants.
Crumbar thinks he is a cunt.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yes.
Wow.
Still.
What do you want to do, Arya?
Yeah. What's the plan?
I get what you mean now. Like, you could have just led with that.
I mean, that's what this whole. Okay.
No. But like, it was. I just didn't really know how I still don't know how we can trust her, to be honest. Because to me, she didn't sound like she was against the king. She just sounded like she was reacting very neutrally to a very negative opinion, which is what made me a bit because it wasn't like, oh yeah, finally some other people that hate his guts, I hate him too. It wasn't that sort of thing. It was like, more like.
So put it this way, right? Imagine yous were the special advisor to the governor of one of the cities that King Magna runs, and then these random strangers come in and say, "Hey, isn't the king shit?" And you went, "Yeah, he is." Wouldn't you just assume you're about to be jumped by the Inquisition?
That's what I'm saying.
That's too. Like, that's also a thing. But I'm also saying, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit too, not trusting.
Fair enough.
Because just the fact that she's not done anything yet or said, oh, I do hate the king. The king is amazing. Just because she's not said that yet doesn't mean she can't, like, call the Magna police on us and, like, literally as we leave here and get us into a million types of trouble because she secretly is in leagues with him. So that's the thing. I don't quite know how we could be.
Well, I mean, she sat down to food with us.
Yeah.
I mean, she could do a million different things, but what has she done? It's kind of all adding up.
And she has been quite open to the idea of working with you guys.
True. Okay, maybe I should trust her a little bit more.
But she's saying, what's in it for me? Because you're asking her to take a massive risk with both her reputation and her loyalty.
And her, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you could actually actively attempt to make her more trustworthy. You could make her prove herself to us before we go forward or something.
Yeah, because that's likely to happen, let's face it, based on the fact that you jumped her in an alleyway.
Yeah, no.
Never know.
These are kind of buying her lunch because she helped you already, right? So now that, you've been treated to, like, 5-star lunch at this point, you're kind of now at the part where, like, oh, you're powerful and influential. Perhaps we could use that. And she's like, you're right, you probably could, but what do I get? Because currently you've said, I work for you, and that doesn't work for her. But, it should have been called Squid Pro Quo, is what the session title should have been called last week. I might just make that the session title retroactively. Squid.
Yes, please do.
Pro Quo. That's terrible, but I love it. There we go, done.
Gotta love a good pun.
So now we're back at, like, finding something to give her as currency to pay for one of these things.
Yeah, so currently the dialogue was, her last in-game dialogue was, what, you want me to use my influence to get you an audience with very little detail as of these very powerful and rich people, and it can be done, but it's a great cost to her. So what does she get? Like, if I paraphrase her a little bit, So if we come back in on that scene, what's Bastiel's counteroffer?
I'll kind of hold the Dwarven King's crown, and I'll say, while we may not have anything you'd particularly desire on our persons right now, we will be brushing shoulders with giants any day now. In fact, possibly every day now.
And she kind of smiles at you, and she says, I heard the giants were dying.
Arya laughs because she knows she didn't actually mean, like, actual giants. I mean,
right, I actually forgot giants were a real thing in D&D. Right, yeah.
Or at least in this world,
You're talking about real giants.
Yeah.
Real giants as opposed to those fake ones.
Yes, all those fake giants. Also, every day but Bastiel, you have passed a dead giant.
Yep.
There was debate over how wealthy their toes were.
Yeah, you looted it.
Well, we didn't. They were gonna take his toes. I don't know why. Kitty was gonna, and I think we all know why. Because Kitty. So...
she loves a good trophy.
So yeah, what's the plan? So she says that as a counter to that? I thought all the giants were dying.
Man.
The entire world.
For me to comment on.
I mean, really, it should really be Arya or Crumbar that really step in with that particular piece of dialogue, really, because you did see a giant die. Oh,
Yeah.
a dead giant.
And
Yeah, go on.
okay, so I could say we've actually, and I point between me and Crumbar, kind of like that like back and forth sort of movement with your hand that you do, like to say us. We've actually seen a dead giant. Not really a pretty sight.
No,
And I
I
think
wouldn't
we still
imagine they
are
would be.
unsure what killed it, but I'm sure that's not what my friend here was not meaning actual giants. He was meaning just very influential entities.
I had the option to study giant as a language when I was younger. I'm glad I didn't waste my time now, if they are to die off.
Well, that's not a guarantee. I don't know exactly what's happening to all of them. One dead giant doesn't mean all of them are dying, but I don't know much about that. You probably get access to a lot more information that we do because we're always on the road, and I'm guessing you get information from all parts of the kingdom. Would we say kingdom?
Yeah.
Land.
You can say kingdom if you want, yeah.
Place.
There is a king, so you can say kingdom.
True. Yeah, but I wasn't sure if that's like only his bit that I'm thinking of.
He is king of the world, though, right?
Yes, I guess. I guess. Okay.
All his kingdom.
It's just, Winter King, Elf King, Elf Queen, Dwarf King, like, to me, like, they're all like royalty, so in my head I put them on the same level, even though I know Magnus sees himself as king of everything.
Yeah. Another reason why he doesn't like gods, though, right? That's his key thing, is if I can become king of the world and gods can just go and squish me, I don't like that. I think that's fair.
True.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm also surprised why gods don't squish him for deciding he's king of the world, because
why would they care,
not
though?
how things are supposed to be.
Because
they like to be worshipped? I don't know.
What are kings to gods? You know?
Maybe, I don't know. And I don't know. How do I put this?
I don't know. How do you put it? So she obviously just sat
Basically,
there,
I'm trying to figure out if she wants something. Like,
I think she's just wondering, like, because you are a bunch of interesting people that have turned up in our city, where obviously it's always rich, stuffy people that are in High Rock. So the idea that you have turned up and made her,
we actually got out.
You have actually given her a reason to have lunch with some people that have travelled and experienced some crazy things. I mean, you're currently, like, you've dumped the Dwarf King's crown on the table, right? So there's loads of interesting things there.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try and, like, trade tales of our adventures.
Yeah, I don't think that will be enough, though, to risk her career and livelihood and everything. That's what I'm trying to figure out, what we could actually get her. Because she won't. I was initially thinking that. I was like, oh, maybe we can just give her, like, the full story in detail every time something happens. But that would not be good enough, let's face it.
It's a decent point, because we clearly don't have the money to buy her cooperation. So it is going to have to be something ineffable or, like, unique.
I mean, there was something she
did
show.
You get exclusivity on the story that happened. And the...
Like,
Membership.
Reporter Cerule, yeah. Yep. She's the Lois Lane of this world, apparently. So, how about you look at what she has shown interest in so far based on the conversation from last session and this session, right? What has intrigued her out of all of the stuff you have spoke about?
Flattery.
Well, that was amusing. I wouldn't necessarily say intriguing.
She said that okay. Sorry, the Twitch froze for me there. She said that she believes everyone has other people's beliefs don't offend hers and they have a right to it or something.
Yeah, so she's very happy that if you're strong-minded enough to have reasons for belief, right? Like, that was the impression you got. Like, she was happy that you had a reason to believe it, whereas you weren't just saying, I believe in this god because, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason.
The horizon is round.
Mm-hmm. Even though this is a disc, but yeah, let's not get into it.
Yeah.
I was literally about to say, it's like,
Let's not get into the planet
okay.
shape. Also, hello, Crow. Yeah. So
what else does she sound interested in? She manners.
obviously, manners are a big deal in her job, right? So she obviously loves them.
Yeah, likes eel as well.
She definitely likes eel. Yep.
What do you guys read from that? What do you guys? I'm literally asking her, and she's being all cryptic.
I mean, things that she'd be interested in, right? So to review, she loved hearing the Winter King was a big female dragon. That was a big cool thing for her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right? That was it was almost the fact that you had found out something so like unique about the world, where so many. Remember, I told you like the idea that so many scholars in say Horizon or something probably were. There's probably 20 odd textbooks, maybe more, on the subject of how the Winter King's a big manly dragon man, right?
Yeah.
And she
So
probably
she
just,
likes knowing something nobody else knows.
I think it's more she likes knowing that people that were obviously probably assholes about the knowledge are wrong.
Yeah.
Right, like all these male wizards have probably been like, yeah, well, the head of the evil dragons is a big, powerful, Winter King man, and she's went, but now I know it's a female, and that would upset so many assholes. So she really liked that when you mentioned that to her. She also really liked his sword.
Right. So there's that, and she also doesn't call her own lord and lady of her house a lord or lady. She also doesn't.
Well, she's not part of the Saphir family.
Is this not Cyril Saphir?
No.
Ah.
No.
I thought she was called Cyril. Her eyes are blue.
Her name is Cyril. Yeah. She never said what family she was part of.
Okay.
Maybe we should ask that.
I mean, that still isn't fixing your problem, though.
Yeah.
No, but it's more information.
The next thing we say is going to have to be like an offer, pretty much.
Yeah, because currently you have delayed the use want her help,
Got
but
it.
haven't
Got
elected.
it.
Yeah.
So,
okay, go for it, Crumbar. Take it away, boy.
Go for it.
Crumbar's after realizing, yes, this is not too bad, and here's something about.
Yeah, the diluted wine is a lot nicer than the full strength stuff.
What components we like?
I thought of something as well, but it is ridiculous.
Oh no, trust me, mine's is even more ridiculous.
We'll have them all, don't worry.
I'll look up at her and I'll just say it's like. So, what do you know of the Dwarf King's throne room?
She raises an eyebrow. So you want more information from me? Yet still nothing to offer?
Oh no, I
We
just
have
want.
been
No,
there.
it's like, oh no, like I don't need information. I've been there personally. I just want to know what you know of it.
Well, I imagine the Dwarf King sits there.
So you've never. So are you aware of his throne?
Raises an eyebrow. Don't all kings have thrones?
Yes, but his was given to him by the White. No, what is it? The Winter King.
The same.
Yeah.
You can say both. It means
Yeah.
the same thing ultimately.
It doesn't mean about
Yeah. So
the
white is just like a really basic way of referring to the dragon, right? The white. It's like, oh, you're the head of the white line of dragons.
basically
but
calling
Winter-
Queen Elizabeth the Queen.
Yes, like the Queen,
Yeah.
as opposed to saying Queen Elizabeth. Like the Winter
Her
King
Majesty,
is the title.
Her
yeah.
Majesty Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah, whereas like the Winter King is like a title for that dragon as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll be like. So yeah, I've said that. Did you know that the Winter King made it for him as a sign of peace?
And she just looks at you and she says, I will enjoy the tale. Unsure as to your point. She kind of raises an eyebrow at you. Or the one that she had raised before remains raised. I forget what her facial expression is just now.
I will just look at her and go, that throne was recently destroyed. If you help us, I'll bring you a peace.
She just narrows both of her eyes. She goes, I see a piece of the Dwarf King's throne made by the Winter King. Isn't this a little futile? And she kind of like looks around the table almost for the word, and she goes, if this throne is broken and you hold the Dwarf King's crown, she like gestures over the table in front of Bastiel at the crown, what value would it have to me? She looks at you like genuinely asking the question.
I just kind of like gesture or general appearance and be like, and like kind of like referring to like where we are, but like, well, you have your wealth. I'm assuming your friends and colleagues have their wealth too. None of them will have a piece of the Dwarf King's throne.
And she sits up straight again and kind of like smiles at that, and like sits her plate to the side and puts like her cutlery down and whatnot, and then she kind of looks at you and she says, colleagues are competitive by nature, and I am special advisor. It is a position I worked hard to get myself into. And as for friends, that makes the assumption I have peers.
I like her.
Yeah. Again, I'll dig into it more. It's like, well then, what better
Okay,
way?
my idea is even crazier.
I want to
kiss
know.
her?
I have outscotted Scott.
Is that even? Does that mean the game's over?
I don't know. We'll find out. Like I might break.
Right.
So.
I was gonna say. Fuck, Andrew, you're throwing me off. Right, I'll just be like, well.
Basically, she said impressing colleagues isn't a thing, and what makes you think I've got friends, right? That's basically what she said to you.
Oh right. I'll be like.
Also, with a bit of smuggery in there, like what makes you think I have peers, is the way she worded it.
I am better than everybody else.
She worked hard to get where she is, right? So.
Yeah, I'll be like, well.
Oh no, I'm feeling her. Girl power and all that.
Yeah, but I'll just be like, well, what better way to set you apart by having something that no one else could attain?
And she kind of like looks at you.
It would certainly be something to show off.
If my ego needed such a trinket, I perhaps would have accepted your earlier offer.
What was my earlier offer?
She points at the stone in front of you next to the jug.
Oh, yeah.
And she says, my achievements and status speak for themselves. If people wish to talk behind heavy curtains and closed doors regarding my status and how I achieved it, I don't mind affording them the indulgence of such. And she looks for a word, and she says, I guess comfort. She just smiles at you.
That was too many words for Scott to understand, guys. What do you think he's getting at by that?
Do you mean what did she get at by that? Yeah.
I was more meaning, what do you think Brian is getting at?
Okay. I can just translate if you want me to. Do you want me to
Please.
translate it for you? Yeah. You're basically saying, but this will be something to show off and show how good you are, because nobody else will have it. And she's like, people can talk about me if they want. I don't need to care if they're talking
validation.
about me. Yeah, like she already has achieved what she set out to achieve thus far, right?
Right, cool. Okay, I know where to go.
Okay.
And I'll just be like, and you're content being in the position you're in. You don't wish to advance any further?
She smiles, and she just stares at you. And how exactly could you advance me further? And she sips wine, all staring at you.
And I'll just say, it's like, well...
She's not wrong.
And I'll just say, well, what position is next in your eyes?
Directly.
Now, don't start implying that we're gonna kill people so that she has the position she wants. That, please.
Well, look.
Directly in above my station would be Governor of High Rock.
Could we aid in your campaign?
Give us the flyers now, lady.
She laughs at him, and she looks at you and she goes, "This is very close to treason, this conversation. You understand that?"
Oh, I'm
For-
guessing they don't get elected every 4 years or something.
No.
I'll just speak. I'll blatantly say it's like
She's saying that very, like, you know, pleasantly and laughing it
Oh,
off. She's not
yeah, but-
saying it in a, so it's treason then, Emperor fucking Palpatine style.
I'll just say it's like no
I
treason.
am the Senate. You know,
And just be like,
pulls out her lightsaber.
can't be treason when it's not my government.
And she looks at you and says, "I believe Magna is king of everything, including orcs."
I
Perhaps
spit on
the-
I
Yeah, and she
I
goes,
spit on the ground.
"Perhaps the orcs don't see it that way, but I haven't ever seen them make a move against his rule."
The orcs care not for the for the rulings of a pointy hat bastard.
She just laughs at that. She just laughs, like proper belly aching laugh. Like just that's so ridiculous to her, and she loves it. The idea of Magna wearing a pointy hat, and she looks at you and she says, "You know, I'll make you a deal, Crombar."
You just kind of see me like perk up and not like lean into the table. Like, so if I was like, I'd be like sitting back in my chair as I've said this. And when she said that, it's like elbows on the table, like chin on my hands, kind of listening in.
Yeah, and maybe by this point all the laughter is maybe like dislodged a bit of her perfectly kind of, you know, manicured silverish blonde hair. She like fixes it back behind her ear, and she says, "Make me the governor of High Rock, and I will give you anything within the governor's power."
There we have it, lads. Make her the governor, and whatever the governor can do for war effort, boom.
Wish.
Nah, I think no, no, like let's try.
Crombar just
other
moves
op-
his hand over to like the handle of the sword and just says, "I wish that Cyril was governor of High Rock."
Let's try other
Wow.
options first.
What a way
Okay.
though, right? What a way to just blow her mind instantaneously.
It kind of real. Oh, I'm so fucking tempted to do that now. Fuck you.
What else are you going to do with your wish spell, buddy? And also then just save up some channel points, right? Some triumph. Buy yourself another wish.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say this.
Buy our own-
I'm going to say, so here's the thing, right? Did you know that if you're a tier 1 sub, which you get for free with Amazon Prime, you get 1.2 times multiplier on your channel point gain, and if you're a tier 2, you get 1.4 times the channel points. And if you're a tier 3, you get 2
Wow.
times the channel points. And I can't change those multipliers that I'm aware of.
What?
So,
I'm saving up for a Benjamin.
yeah.
Oh shit. That's a bill.
So,
Billy.
so that's the thing, right? But, yeah. Also, yes, to answer your question, Shan, if you have saved up like enough triumph by having watched said streams, yeah, like it's there to spend.
Yeet.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh,
There are obviously rules and terms and conditions and whatnot with a lot of how some of it works, but for the most part, like it's what you'd expect. So,
Okay.
like for example, if you bought inspiration for somebody that has inspiration on their sheet ticked, they need to use it like in that session. It doesn't carry over.
Okay.
But beyond that, like if somebody didn't have inspiration on their sheet and you bought them it, for example, they could mark it and then just keep it till they need it.
Hey, that's me.
So
Alright.
it's just a thing.
Okay.
Put it this way, in my Wednesday game, a lot of people, by that, my mod, in fact, one of my mods on here, who's playing it, he plays a Skaven character. He bought inspiration for loads of people during that game because
yeah, I remember.
they were dying badly. They're in a really bad combat right now.
Wow.
We're basically like campaign ending combat right now.
Like maybe a bad turn away from a TPK.
Yep.
But anyway, in this game, so
In this game,
she's just smiling after having belly laughed and fixed her hair and staring at you, being like, "Make me governor, and you can have whatever you want within the power of a governor."
I'll just be like, I think we can see to that.
She just laughs. She says, "Can you now?" And she just picks up the second bottle of salted wine and pops the cork on it, and then just pours the. Basically, just mostly the glass is now just full again, and she just starts sipping it. Says, "I would love to know how you intend to make that happen."
That's for us to worry about.
Indeed, but I'm afraid it would seem like you are pressed for time, however, given that this appointment of mine to governor would be somewhat short-lived, I imagine, if it took you a great deal of time to achieve.
Where is the governor now?
And she just smiles and goes, "Is this something I should be part of, this particular conversation? Would it not be best if I didn't hear the details?"
Merely inquiring for his location.
I believe he would be in the governor's house.
Quarantine.
No. That's the other city where they delivered infected people back in Glitterhagen. Yeah, they gave a whole cart full of zombie people to the city, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lovely gift.
I know. Here you go. We're bam.
I want to say to her, I say, friends, peers, colleagues, authority, you seem alone in this world. You seem like someone who bears a grudge. And
do I seem so petty to you? Is what she says back.
What'd she say?
Do I seem so petty to you?
Perhaps not petty, but focused. Your ears prickled at the notion that the Winter King is female. And I would assume that that means that you value what's the word I'm looking for here? Like when things are what's the word?
Describe
when things aren't
mercenaries.
made up.
What, truth? Honesty?
Not like
when things aren't made up. Facts?
I'll go with truth. I would assume you value truth, especially where it is widely accepted that something. I really don't know the word I'm looking for here.
What was the gist of what you're trying to say?
I'm basically trying to say that there's a lot of BS that people believe in, like the Winter King being the powerful male figure, and we live and die by the idea of uncovering these things and interacting with them daily, and we can give her an abundance of truths and knowledge and wisdom on things like that that can change many people's outlooks, including her not peers.
Right. I'm just going to cut in just now, man. Not that I don't think like your idea is good, but
Yeah.
I put it in chat. But I'm just going to like talk about it in here just to make it.
I missed it.
Yeah, basically what I'm.
God.
Yeah. So what about if we just do that? Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
I need you to talk. I'm keeping in mind nobody can see Discord chat. Talk.
Right, yeah. So basically, I'm suggesting that what we do is kidnap the governor, because then there won't be one. Position will be open, and she will be next in line to fill it.
So here's the first problem: people don't just instantly forget he was the governor.
God.
Yes, understandable, but she would be the governor.
Nope, she wouldn't, because there would be a governor. He's just missing.
But she would be acting governor,
which isn't governor.
No.
Eventually, though, they would give up the search.
But then they'd just appoint a new governor.
No,
Which would be her.
Not necessarily.
not necessarily.
Yeah.
Jinx.
I know, right? It's almost like we understand the politics of this made-up world a bit better.
Well,
Like, for
Sure you
example,
go.
And
like...
you know, who's the person it stands most to gain if the governor suddenly disappears? Maybe that person should be the suspect.
Who was seen
No,
having
And the people
lunch?
connected to
You
them.
know, who was seen having lunch with...
Yeah, it's Crumbar right now.
Mhm.
Crumbar gains the most from the governor disappearing.
This is when Crumbar wishes the governor to be invisible.
I mean, right, okay, because here's what I'm thinking. Either we do that, or we somehow manage to intimidate the governor, or... I mean, it must be possible.
Wait. Is this not a joke? This is dead ass. You dead
Yeah,
ass.
no, that's just me being serious.
Keep in mind, this is Scott being serious, because this isn't a conversation you've had at the table yet.
Because this really isn't a Crumbar train of thought.
Right. Okay.
'Cause-
This is the same as me in my house right now being Sean going, let me kidnap Prince Harry. You know? Like, we don't have the tools. Like, that just can't happen. I feel like
You
that
have
just
a big
literally can't
You have a
happen.
big bulking dwarf and we have rope. What else do we need?
What makes you
They
think Don Drabella is going to agree to kidnap somebody? Right? What actually
this guy-
in Scott's brain thinks Don Drabella would kidnap someone? She is a lovely librarian slash grandmother slash wife, anytime removed.
With a terrible past in human trafficking.
No.
Man,
Oh
I
dear.
assume this guy's position obviously means he's like very favored by Magna.
Yeah.
So he's got the
I
most.
kind of want to do it just to piss off Magna.
He's got the most insane security we know of.
I want to do it. Now, actually,
Okay,
because you've
if you
changed
wanna
my
do
train
it.
of thought. We
Alright.
could do it for the sole reason is it would piss off Magna.
Let's do it.
Adri?
I'm in.
So let's put a wee pause button here, right? And let's all look at our alignments, right? And let's truly know what's about to happen to all of those alignments.
True.
Yeah. Fuck you, Ryan.
I don't think
hi,
you can promise.
I'm not going
that.
to stop you doing it, right? I'm just
I
going to tell
know.
you what happens in the eyes of the gods that judge you based on your alignment.
True. How about I promise some, like, we discussed the other thing that might be nicer and better, and yeah.
Well, how did she react to
Yes,
the
everyone.
thing that I was at the end of summarizing?
Okay. So I'm gonna say
Right, 1 second.
Like,
So Bastille,
this-
like review what you mean, because I feel like I've
So-
covered all the conversational points, but if I haven't, please.
Yeah, so I basically said she like obviously valued that thing the most, the Winter King, and the truth about that and what that means to the people she I assume she hates. And being who we are and what we do, we can keep that kind of information coming to her and exposing the truths of this world that, you know, would prove all of them wrong. Because we are out there, and that's what we do.
Which kind of So you're basically offering to be spies for her or info.
Like proof, basically proving that aliens are real and shit like that. You know, the equivalent of that. Like we are on the front line dealing with these entities, and we
Right,
can
so
blow the lid off.
the four of
all
like the group of you, sorry, not the four of you, but like the group, right?
Mhm.
If you went in front of like a bunch of people at say Horizon, like a bunch of wizards in Horizon, and went, so the Winter King's a woman. They might.
yeah, they just
Just-
fucking laugh.
They'd be like, well, where's your proof? And then that's where that
Well,
falls
I'd
apart
say you're a
instantaneously.
wizard. Read my mind.
Not all wizards can read minds. Also,
One
you're,
of them can.
you're like a, Warforged, who's to say you didn't have the memories implanted?
What?
Aye, magic.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I have like cloud-based memory. They can't access it in my body.
It's just they can't get the password right and they've already had 3 attempts, so
Yeah.
they need to wait till tomorrow.
Reset me entirely.
Once per day at dawn, you may try again.
Oh.
But no, like, in a more serious note, like, it would be like you're trying to convince people, right? And yeah, you've got things like Zone of Truths and stuff, that's more like clericy nonsense. But like, yeah, you could do things like Zone of Truth and get like what you believe to be true. But you believing it to be true doesn't make it like objectively true.
Yeah.
Right, because
But-
you could have been told by somebody, convinced by somebody, oh, the Winter King's a woman. Granted, you believe that because you met the Winter King who was a woman,
That's true.
right? But
I was hoping she'd ask for something that we could actually prove, like a claw of this creature that no one believes exists or something.
what,
I don't know.
Cyril?
Yeah.
What, I mean, she doesn't care about what you're telling her at the moment. You have told her some interesting and fun stories over lunch, and then you went, cool, but can you use your connection?
Nothing.
Like, you've literally went, cool, we scared you in an alleyway, and then you helped us find your friends. We probably owe you lunch. And she went, that sounds great. Because you are weird and wonderful and interesting people. And then you have had lunch, and you've went, cool, do all these things for us, please, because you're powerful. And then she's went, cool, okay, what do I get? And you have struggled.
Well, because we asked her and she's being,
Yeah,
evasive.
but like, her saying what she wants is also the Inquisition problem, right?
True. Yeah, because she doesn't trust us any more than we trust her.
Yeah, which
But
is
the
valid.
thing is, right, there is one thing we can promise that does not end up in murder. She might appreciate anyway. So, I'm going to say that there is one thing that we could offer you that nobody else would have.
Kind of
And I
raises an
think
eyebrow.
that'll be something you might like.
True love.
Oh, wow, if nobody else has that, what a miserable world.
No, right? God.
True love with a robot?
Oofed.
Well,
Damn right.
Love, death, and robots.
shush.
Go on,
Oh god, I need more of that. Anyway, I'd say we are about to embark on a quest, after which we will have to return to the Winter King and have an audience with them,
I see.
with her. Once we have all the items that we need, we could come back for you, and you could join us. And you could meet the Winter King.
Right, that's what you were meaning. Yeah, that's a much better idea.
So,
Yeah, it involves zero murder. Well, unless the Winter King kills us all, and then she dies in the process. Well, whoops.
Then GG, good game, guys.
yeah, right. Death by dragon.
And it just means that all we've done is we bragged about our insanely, kind of like I'll introduce you to my insanely famous friend that is so exclusive nobody ever gets to meet them.
Why would she ever do anything we asked her to, though? Oh, well, she doesn't need to know that. We can come.
I was gonna say, wait for her reply, please, Shell. She
We're
goes,
talking about the Winter King.
yeah, but you turning up with Cyril doesn't negate. Andrew, you're double broadcasting.
Am I? Oh, sorry.
Just assume you always will be. But yeah, so like, you turning up with an extra person when you meet up with, Kandir isn't really that big an issue, right? Because what does she care who you're with if you've arranged to meet her, right?
Yeah, I thought the opposite and bringing her here.
Whereas, no, because the plan is that go get all the stuff you need, pick up Cyril, go boost over to where the Winter King's chilling, no pun intended, and then make your case, right?
Do
Make
this.
her offer.
Whereas the difference is you're asking Cyril to put up all of the collateral up front on this pipe dream that you'll somehow come back for.
We can do that first.
True, but we also don't really have anything that we can offer her now, I guess.
I
don't
mean,
know.
maybe she doesn't help us until we've done this.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a case of
Yeah,
help
maybe.
us then. How about, when we come and get you, that's when you give us your help.
Yeah. Or we could just leave her to mull everything over while we go do the Elf Queen stuff.
Yeah, and then we can come back and then be like, how do you think about it now?
Yeah.
Shall we do that? Give the proposition and go, we shall leave. If she doesn't agree to it, then we'll go, well, we will leave it with you for now. And then we go do
So-
whatever.
Yeah.
What is the plan? Like, is it just you want her to help you get the Saphir family to be informed that their daughter doesn't exist, but some rando has been saying that she does? Or do you want to make her governor so she is in a direct position to help you guys?
Well, making her governor would kind of mean murder, or
Yeah,
kidnapping at the very lightest. And I
mean,
don't think
it
Arya,
doesn't
who was
necessarily
selfish at
always mean
killing
murder.
horses,
I'm just saying, people
Well-
can lose their position for any number of reasons.
I mean, I just wanted her as an informant for Magna's new war.
I mean, we could try and find out some dirty information on him or cause a scandal, or. But that feels a bit too meta right now, so I'd rather not.
Also, I feel like that doesn't even exist. You would absolutely be able to control that.
I mean,
We'll see.
we're going to go right back to the part where, regardless of what challenge you face, you have a wish spell. I'm not saying that this is a good time to use it, I'm just saying that will solve
True.
any one problem you think is impossible. Let's face it, unless the gods go no, or somebody counterspells it.
Yeah, like Magna.
Yes, like Magna.
So, right.
But,
So,
also,
everyone want to leave that on ice?
saying no more Wizard King is something Magna might care about more so than some rando governor. Right? Also, you don't have to kill someone to remove them from office. I just need to highlight this as a D&D and roleplay thing. To solve a problem, murder
True.
is not always option one. Might be a bit, tricky to let us settle in.
Yes, I agree. Arya agrees as well.
And me and
I mean,
all of my
I'm
NPCs
on
agree.
the fence.
It's a very uncomfortable place to sit, especially given how heavy Crumper is. But yes, how about you have a think about it over break, right? How you want to pursue
Alright.
it. We will come back. We will come back at 9:05 for this, and for the sake of the recording,
Sure.
everybody in chat, BRB in essentially 15 minutes. Stick around, folks. Stick around.
Stick around, we might kill somebody.
You might also you can always type into chat and ask them for suggestions of what to do with Cyril.
That is a good point. Chat, what do you think should do? Best.
And what I'll do is I'll just get us muted just now. Okay, so we should be back now. This is part 2 of session 57 of the Keepers of the Golden Gate. I am Ryan, the GM. It's the 24th of July 2020, and here are the players.
Hello, I'm Adrian. I play Arya Bluebird, the Half Elf Druid.
Hello, Sean. I play Bastille, the Warforged Cleric.
Hi, I'm
Yep.
dying. Hi, I'm Scott. I'm playing Crumbar, who is apparently trying to commit treason. He's a half-orc paladin.
Excellent. And we may or may not have Sophie at some point, ideally soon. Wouldn't it be great if she could just join now, and then we could just have her intro? Like, she was never gone. But no, that's not likely to happen. Unless I keep filling the time with useless information. Right, so, anyway. Back in the meal. We're sat there with her, sipping her, salted wine. Cyril with her silvery blonde hair. And staring at the party, smiling at the idea that you were going to make her governor. And then you suggest, because it's been made, the offer's been made, right? Or has it just been spoke about? Because I'm getting myself confused now. It's only been spoke about by you guys, right, as players? You just haven't actually offered her.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's
we
right.
wouldn't. I
So
don't think would us.
yeah,
I
we'll
would
go.
have been okay with that.
So I think the last thing that's been mentioned currently is the, yous saying that yous would happily make her governor. And then she said, "She'll, if you can make me governor, I'll do whatever a governor can to help you."
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we are. So we go in there. That's us. We're back. We're bam.
I think it would be best if Adri gives the offer.
Yeah.
You mean Arya? But yeah,
Okay. So I'll say we are on a quest to currently aiming to speak to the Elf Queen. We're going to be on our way to her, and if you would like, we could take you along with us. That would definitely be something that not few people can say they've done, right? Have an audience with the Elf Queen.
Are you
Once
offering to
we-
take me with you?
We could. Alternatively, we could take you with us when the quest is complete, when we have what we need in order to arrange a not a truce, to gain the favor of, to gain the help of White. So we know we are going to have a meeting with the White at some point in the future, and given our last conversation with her, she is expecting us. So if you would prefer, we could take you along to that meeting. Either way, you would get something that most people don't get to experience.
Well, I
Something
must
that-
admit the offer is rather tempting. I fear that, again, this all depends on the timetable presented. I am more than happy to take an offer when nothing is asked of me until a later date, for I lose out nothing on this. But you have told me of the pressing and impeding need for support near the abyss. What exactly are you asking the Elf Queen for?
Merely for her support in the
Support
issue
would be
at the
the
abyss.
dressing we wrap a gift in. What is the gift? And she looks at you very pointedly.
Well,
You said support, so here, she said support is the dressing you wrap a gift in. But what is the gift? Because you're asking for support, but that's such a vague non-answer.
Gotcha.
She's saying, but yeah, but what would you expect her to actually do?
Well, in all honesty, we kind of expect her to say that. I don't know how to say this in character.
It's okay.
Like,
have a think about it.
My understanding as a player is that, obviously we think Magnus opening this.
So Arya,
Magnus behind the entire
have a
thing,
think
right?
about it. Listen to my words, and what we'll do is we'll say hello to Sophie.
Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
Greetings.
Welcome. Do you want to do your intro?
Yeah, I'm Sophie. I play Kitlith Anastasia, a wood elf rogue who is very late.
We're still at dinner, by the way. With
No.
Saru.
Amazing. That's fine.
Obviously,
so I'm
'cause
not actually technically missed much then.
all of our RP involves long dinners. You know this, right? Anytime
Yes,
there's a
it's
meal, it's
true.
at least a session. So
Yeah.
so we're still here. Does you guys just want to take a minute as players to catch up what she's missed, so that you can all have that wee moment of like solidarity as a team?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as if we've been delaying this because it's like we need your character to get through the woods.
Hey, that's not the case at all. I'll let you die in the woods, no problem. Like, yous have just wanted stuff of this woman, so like there was.
I just want to be loved.
You could have left at any point. Legit.
Yeah, so yeah, we're basically just kind of been like, I've tried to get how to introduce us to the Saphir family. Now we're trying to just get her to give her help in general with the Abyssal crap.
There was plot of kidnapping and murdering the governor of High Rock.
I mean,
which I shut down.
Because she's no fun.
Do you want to tell her why any of this was discussed?
Oh yeah, well basically she said if you can make me governor, I will assist you in any way I can. And I'm like, all right.
To rewind that further, they went, we want your help. Give us your help, please. And she went, what's in it for me? And they went, we don't know. What would you like? And she goes, make me governor. Because they were like, well, what's the next step for you? And she was like, governor. It's alright. And then everybody reminded Crumbar he has a wish.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm not going to wait.
Imagine that, like, after that, it's like, what did you do with, like, the combined fate of your lost people? Oh, I just promoted some women.
Oh.
Yup. So that is all you've missed so far, is them trying to basically get her help and not realising that she's not going to use any of her influence without something in return.
Yeah.
And we're offering
I mean, as much as I am for like girl power and women in positions of authority, that seems a bit too high of a price to pay, just saying.
Yeah, things that have been offered were lots of shiny baubles to like show off to her like friends and colleagues, and she's like, well, I got to where I am through all my own efforts, and what friends do I require? What peers would I have? Given her special advisor to the governor position she got herself. So yeah. Basically she went, I have no need of friends. And what are colleagues if not rivals to my position? So she's not one for showing off what she has. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all. I think that's about the gist of it. I think for the most part, from what I can tell, Crombar seems indifferent towards her. Arya seems pretty bitching with her. She's pretty awesome. And I think Bastiel quite likes her. So I think that's where we are, like, on the temperature gauge for the party, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so at least. But beyond that, yes, currently, it's just whether or not you want her help, because she seems open to the idea of helping you guys, save the world. Yeah. It's a pretty good thing to be part of, right? But again, anything you want her to do with her position of power will involve you having to do something for her and or offering her something worth it. And then you went, okay, what do you want? And she went, well, I would like to be governor. So if you can make that happen, she will do anything in her power as governor to help you guys. And then now there was discussion of, what if we offer her a wee visit with the Winter King? Because she obviously last session quite enjoyed hearing the Winter King was female. And The only downside to that is you would get nothing till she saw the Winter King, which is ages away, right? It's like a forever away, and you've the current thought came up going, well, what if we introduce her to the Elf Queen? Because that is next.
Yeah.
The problem with that, though, I highlighted is the part where you ambushed her in an alleyway, and then she took you to a public place, and then you treated her to lunch, so she enjoyed that part. But what makes you think she's going to go into the murder woods with a bunch of strangers?
She can bring guards in a vehicle.
It's like guards in a vehicle are going to get through the woods.
Does she know that?
I mean, do you want to try and pose that as it? You might not get through this, so enjoy the deception roll.
No, she's the one who thinks she won't get through it. I think she will. I think we can defend her.
But that's where we are. So, at that point, I don't know if you have any opinions you wish to share on the lore bomb you just had there, Sophie, for what you think the party should be doing if they want this woman's help, or not. It doesn't involve murder or kidnapping, by the way, because I did try and tell them that removing that guy as governor, no problem in RP, needs to always be solved with murder as the first option. Yet, here we are.
Yeah. I would suggest if she did want to come along, she can bring guards, but they wouldn't all be allowed entry. So like they'd have to pretty much just be left in an area while we go off that way, kind of thing. Like they wouldn't be far away, but they wouldn't realise they weren't far away, kind of thing, because that's how those woods work.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, the only downside, right, so again, I think, especially you, Ketlith, you would know enough about the woods and people's opinions of the woods, having spent time out of the woods, for quite a bit as well. The idea of going to the woods, regardless of what you have with you, doesn't ever seem to matter, because again, the Wizard King hasn't taken over the woods, even if he does claim to be the king of everything, right? Because the Elf Queen still reigns supreme within the woods. So, the idea of bringing 20 guards might not even matter, because who's to say that at some point in history, for example, maybe the long distant past, the dwarfs decided to go to war with the elves, and maybe thousands of dwarfs lost their lives to the woods alone. So, it's not like somebody's like, oh, you've let me take guards, great, so I'll just send 10 men to their deaths then. Like, there'd need to be something actually securing her passage. Does that make sense? Like, not necessarily like a tangible thing, but something that she can believe in that isn't just
me
bring guards. I mean, thing is though, right, so if this is mentioned at the table, the fact that you have an elf is the only reason she would entertain it, right? So you're the equivalent of the grapple hook that lets you climb the wall, right?
Yeah.
Whether or not she thinks the rope's strong enough is a different story, right? So there you go. There's a better kind of comparison for you guys. But anyway, let's go back into the scene, and we'll have that play out. So you've posed, obviously. Maybe we could take you to go see the Winter King. And did you give her the other offer? How are you?
Not yet.
Yeah, I did say that you could join us.
To see the Elf Queen?
Yeah, I started with that.
Yeah, and she says, so her reply is, it would be such a venture to meet these people. However, and then I think this is where we ended up. She was saying, what do you actually want from the Elf Queen? Because remember, you were like, support, and she goes, yes, support is the dressing you wrap a gift in. What is the gift you ask of her? That's where we ended before Sophie joined us. So that was.
I don't know how much information I want to give her on that, because at the end of the day, it's this.
I mean, it will be if you take her, though, right?
Yeah, we're past that point.
And the only reason it is because if you ask the Queen something that she knows will get her killed, she's not going to go.
Fine.
Like, please give us your finest bathwater, please, Queenie. You know?
Oh, God. Why?
High quality e-girl bath water.
Yep, right. And that's E for elf, obviously. Terrible.
So bad.
I hate you a little bit.
Me too. I hate me quite a big bit, so don't worry about it. So,
I'm in there.
thanks, I appreciate that. The support. So yeah, what are you saying? Because keep in mind, anyone can answer that question for Arya. It doesn't need to just be Arya that replies, but the question that was posed was, we're asking the Elf Queen for support, and obviously Cyril's like, that's a bullshit answer. What is it you're actually asking her for? But she said it in a nicer way.
You want firepower with sealing the hell portals open up across the land.
So you're gonna.
Elves.
Sorry, do you want to start that again, but in character, so I can know when you're talking in character.
All of it was character.
Yeah, so start now.
Firepower. Parade. With sealing the hell portals opening up across the land. Maybe knowledge, like we want from you, or bodies, magics, relics.
People, preferably.
But most important of all, her cooperation with the treaty. And, obviously I already told her about that, what we're doing.
You ask a great deal of the Elf Queen.
She is the land itself, and she understands, perhaps better than anyone, that the threat looming over us is a threat to all living things.
Are you so
We will have to
sure
address
the
it
demons
one
can
way or
reach
another.
the Queen? Are you so sure the demons can reach the Queen?
I'm not sure of anything in this world. My Lady of Destiny has taught me not to be. But we do what we can.
She leans forward, like she puts her elbow on the table and puts her chin on her fist, and she's like, "That is interesting, though, right? Because surely that's a contradiction. You're Lady of Destiny, and that leads you to be unsure about things. Like that has totally drawn her focus."
Well, we are mere mortals.
She tilts her
I'm
head.
sure Magna
Are we?
hates that.
And she looks you up and down briefly.
Gods have ever been fully transparent with people, though?
Alright. Yes, even me.
How curious. Was it by design? Do you know? I mean, that is super interesting as a point of conversation, though, right? Like, you can't blame her for being interested in that.
God.
Because you've went, my god of destiny and fate said, don't be sure about anything, buddy. Also, you're mortal, and you're like a walking, talking machine. So yeah, it's quite a
And you nearly died once.
Yeah.
By killing yourself, yep.
Damn. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna dislocate my jaw and sorry that I don't have a power core.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Right. So you just start doing this dislocation type thing, and we have
All of
obviously...
our secrets!
And you've got the big, violent energy vortex thing inside you.
Yeah, I just like wiggle my pinky finger in the empty core space.
And then she says, I am unsure as to what I am observing here. I am no artificer.
I'll say...
You would confuse most artificers.
Say, you're witnessing pure destiny. And I don't blame you, as a fellow mortal, for not understanding it.
She laughs at that. She just laughs. And she puts her hand on her chest very kind of like daintily. And she goes, I never said I was a mere mortal. And then like takes a big glug of her. She takes a big glug of her wine.
Whoa. What is this lady now?
I mean, this lady's having fun because she's a
mere
bottle deep.
mortals get to where she is, though?
Yes, she's a politician.
Or she's a drunk politician having lunch with a bunch of randos that are telling her fairy tales.
Wow, now I need to know. Well, anyway. Carry on.
Yeah.
I don't want to derail.
That's all she's saying. She's just laughing and drinking and toying with you, quite frankly.
Yep, totally is.
So you're all dislocated and pointed at, and I mean you still haven't really answered her question, but I don't know if you want to at that point.
I mean, I can't. I don't know. I literally don't know where he is.
Yeah, but you could answer. You could say that, or you could make something up, right? This is the choices you have, or you could just not answer it. Like you could at least let her know how the conversation's going to go instead of just sitting doing nothing. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Just say that. I don't know where my earthly maker is, but yeah, my life's in the hands of someone else entirely now. That's not relevant to anything I do or live by.
I see. And yet you follow this person so loyally.
Of course.
Again,
Oh, but you're just like, yep.
that's like, and that's she makes a point of acknowledging that word choice, right? So you say like, of course, and she nods at that. Alright, you're double broadcasting again. And
That's
she,
just me being like, I'm not going to tell you my entire backstory right now, but I
yeah,
can
but
get to that.
ironically though, what she said was, so you follow this person like so loyally, and you went, of course. Like such
Yeah,
a definitive, right? And that's
Yeah,
what she finds
but
funny.
I'm not going to tell her why it's so definitive.
Doesn't
is what I'm
matter.
saying.
That's why she finds it funny, right?
Yeah.
Like, keep in mind, she's a politician. Word games is all she has.
Mm-hmm.
So this has amused her. That you know, you've been like, oh yeah, nothing's certain. My god's told me that, but I follow them completely, of course. Like that's hilarious from her point of view.
Well, I mean, what else am I going to do?
Exactly,
But,
right? Yeah. But this is amusing to her because
Well-
obviously how you have got to where you are isn't how she would have got there if she even would have wanted to get to where you are, right?
Yeah.
So it's just her enjoying how different an afternoon she's had than what she probably had planned.
Yeah.
Well, you could say we've kind of found this religion, this entity, this person to follow in very different ways compared to how people usually find their religion. It's all the more I don't know, important, like all the more
Personal?
yeah, basically. Yeah. It seems to have a different sort of impact on you when the deity seeks you out instead of you seeking them out, and that creates a specific level of respect and loyalty and actually believing you are on the right path instead of looking towards the gods and hoping that they will send you assurance,
And she kinda looks
hoping
like,
that she kind of gets it a bit more. This is why my friends and I are all so loyal to this cause and to this lady.
how do you know
And
you're
I would
not
have
being
said lady in
misled?
a very respectful way, because it's not just some lady. It's like
Yeah, I got that. Like it's said with some kind of reverence,
Okay.
right?
Okay, good. Wasn't sure if it came true.
Yeah, I think she's just contemplating that, 'cause that is a lot to take in, especially like the almost blind faith angle that a lot of you have towards, for the hooded women. So,
True, I get her.
which is obviously interesting to her because it's a bit weird, right?
Yeah, I purposely tried to put it not just as a religion, but more like when somebody that's a god shows up in your dreams, you can't help but believe
Yeah,
in it, even
you
though
know.
you usually wouldn't have believed in that specific thing. Because she did kind of like essentially pluck me out of the woods. Like I had my
Mhm.
nice quiet life, whatever, and then bam, yeah, you have a mission.
Oh yeah, I mean she did like kind of like basically just involve herself in everyone's life, quite frankly. Yes, I think Cyril's sitting there, and she looks at the table, and then she looks up at the group, and she says, "You offer a great many things that involve a lot of risk, unfortunately. Risk management is part of my duties when advising the governor what to and not to support." She looks at you, Arya, when she says that. I would be
And I just nod, understanding.
I would be very intrigued by gaining an audience with the Elfin Queen. This would indeed be something of great value to me. Possibly more so than governorship.
Ooh.
She sets her glass down.
Nice.
So safety is more important than government.
She looks at you. She goes, "Please try not to understand my motivations if you're not willing to share your own." And she turns back to Arya. "My interests with the Elf Queen are for my own agendas, just like your interests with the Elf Queen are for your agendas. I can respect this, and in fact I also support this." She sits up straight. "However, for me to just abandon my post here, that would be a very difficult step for me to take, especially I believe that a lot of my competitors, these seeming peers of mine in office, would think me mad to just abandon my post and wander off into the Queen's Wood." She tilts her head towards, Kitlith at that, just to acknowledge the fact that, people don't just choose to walk into the Queen's Wood unless, they have
They are
really bad
elven,
advice.
yeah.
Or they've had really bad advice, right?
I mean, but isn't she
May I-
entitled to some time off?
Yeah, how much leave have you got stored up? I think it's more just
May
the
I
idea that
ask,
if
I
any...
am-
Sorry, just go back to Crumbar's point there. She probably could easily get the time off, right? That's probably not an issue. She'd just tell her boss, "Listen, dude, here's your schedule for the next 2 weeks. Bye."
You sure?
Yeah, but if anyone saw her just walk into the woods with a bunch of strangers, that would get around town like wildfire.
What, do you never go camping in the woods?
Not
Love a
in the
little
Queen's Wood.
picture.
We do stand out a little bit, like a sore thumb.
Yeah, what's that? 3 paladins, a dwarf, and a walking machine to rock up to town and then chill out
And
at
not
this
to
one
mention,
restaurant.
we're not dressed like them. Like, we're not, like... It's not like we're 3 rich paladins. That sort
Yeah.
of
Speak
thing.
for yourself. I'm dressed in gold.
So is she.
Shush you, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Doing gold
It's
half
not
pipe.
that. It's... I don't know how to put it, like...
You definitely stand out. But yeah, so back on that. Alright, so
Yeah.
this is what she says. She says, "So I'm in a rather difficult position as to my ability to maneuver freely into this audience. How do you intend to gain an audience with the Elf Queen?"
Okay.
Did you say
Is-
that? Bastiel just says that across the table.
Yeah.
Kitty.
Well, I'm just sort of there, like mid drink of that honey water like
Mm.
combo mix thing. In fact, no, I want honey. What was it?
It was honey wine.
It's like
yeah.
a honey mead thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and just sort of there, like trying to do what Crumbar did, just drink it straight. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's
What?
a horrible syrup. Yep.
I just sort of like straighten myself, like, yeah, that totally didn't just happen. I know a way
kinda
of
roll
getting an
my eyes and
audience.
laugh.
Sorry.
You just like daintily laugh behind your hand, like, yeah, that was totally dainty though. That one, it's over. Yes. Anyway.
There you go.
Oh my god, it's been a long day, guys. Yeah, I would just inform this lady that I have a way of getting an audience with the Queen if my source is still active.
I see.
Is what I will say.
So,
She kind of like just nods
May I
towards you.
ask?
Yeah. She turns to you.
We've told you why we need to speak to the Elf Queen. What is your reason for wanting to speak to her?
I think she just blinks incredibly slowly because she has already answered that.
Well, yeah, but I don't get what she means, because that it would be better than... Okay, maybe I'm just me being the player and being
So,
stupid.
I'll rewind a bit for you, right? She just said, "You have been vague about your reasons, and I will be vague about my reasons. But I would like to go and speak to her."
been really vague.
I mean, you kind of have been.
We've
Not on everything,
Yeah.
right? You have you have finally offered up stuff, but she's literally stated, "Your business is your own, and I can respect that. However, you know,
Yeah.
she's
I'm just
offered up
afraid
as
now
much.
that she might ask something weird.
I mean, that's the risk, right?
I mean, she's already coming, so like,
Okay.
Is she now?
Okay. YOLO. Whatever.
So she kind of looks back at Killith and she says, "And I believe for safe passage through the Queen's Wood, you need to be in favour still with the Queen. Is this correct?"
That is correct indeed.
Forgive this if it is rude to inquire, but you have not lost favour with the Queen then.
I don't believe I have. I haven't done anything to irk her that I'm aware of. Just like little flashback of all the times I've like stolen things and gotten drunk somehow.
I think like,
Like, just rascal
tilted all the paintings in the hallway.
just drew cats in all of the paintings in the corners so nobody could know. But I think she kind of like nods and she says, "I am somewhat familiar with some elven customs. Not all of them, I would not admit to that, but I would like to say I've learned enough that if I ever had the chance to pursue my own agendas with the Elf Queen, I would have, the best chance to achieve it. If you say you can get me an audience with the Elf Queen, if you know that to be true, then
Yes.
I would, I can take this on faith alone." And she looks to Bastiel briefly on that. "However,
Yes.
I can offer nothing based on faith." And she sits back and just waits for everybody to absorb that.
Well, here's the thing. We take her, and then if she decides she's not going to hold up our end of the bargain, we just ditch her in the woods and she can't get out.
Oh, yeah, that.
I'll just prepare the evil alignments for everybody.
Nah, It's like, what does Dondra Bell have to say on this with her wisdom?
She is sat with like her, thumbs having a wee thumb war as she's pondering everything, kind of nodding slowly. Like she's in like deep, deep thought. But you could ask her, right?
Yeah, I'll ask her. Because I'm sitting right next to her.
Yeah,
I'll just
you are,
click my fingers in front of her eyes and say, "Yo, you're one of us. What do you think, our Lord Keeper?"
She looks up at you and squints up her face. Like, "I'd like to think I'm more than one of you." And she goes,
Or like half, but
yeah. And she kind of like clears her throat and she goes, "I'm kind of along as an advisor of sorts myself, so offering fancy ladies things isn't exactly why I was asked along, actually. So
Right.
that's my thoughts."
Great. Well,
She looks at you. "Well?"
okay. I'm just going to turn right around.
Well done with you.
Nice one,
Smash
Dondra
the B button or the circle button to get out of the conversation with Dondra Bella.
Yeah. Just like the little renegade in Paragon
Mhm.
that I got on my screen.
I think they're
Oh,
called
doing
Arya
this, yeah.
and Crumbar in this game.
Yep.
Alright, what do we want to offer her? How do we get her a piece of... Elf didn't help. Having an elf didn't help to get us through this.
No, because again, that's, to use my grapple hook analogy, Kitlith is the grapple hook that lets the person believe you can climb the wall. Right?
Yeah.
That is the method. So having
Still
the
need
elf...
to actually do it, yeah.
Yeah, you'd still need to then scale the wall, and the rope would still need to hold, you know? So yeah, it's all a bit of a...
But clearly, no, she doesn't doubt her prowess.
No, she definitely
Doesn't
does not.
doubt
Like she's very comfortable with how intimidating you all are, right?
Yeah, she doesn't want money either.
She doesn't need money, right? I think that's more the important thing. It's not that, like, what can money do for her that hasn't done it already? She can't buy being the governor.
Are you sure?
No. But she is. Because she hasn't become governor yet.
Let's go offer the governor a
Yeah,
lot of money to
she's-
step in.
Obviously very rich, living in a very rich place. You can't really buy these people. They've always had money.
These people buy
they-
people, yeah.
Exactly. Like
But
It-
again,
people
power and
that were
influence
born
is
with
important to
silver
them.
spoons already. Yeah.
And obviously a lot of these people aren't ashamed to throw money around. As I said, if somebody got bored, they could just go build a city somewhere. Like, I claim this land. Why? Because I've got enough money to pay people to kill you if you say it's yours.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, and I'll just keep paying people to build stuff here and eventually a wall around it. Then it will be a city. So that's the level of power like High Rock has. Like, they just have. But then if they did that, they'd have less money, right? They'd have a city, but less money.
Mm-hmm.
That means they couldn't build a city wherever they wanted if they'd already built one somewhere. So yeah, like the political kind of like tier system in High Rock is mostly, well, we have a lot of money, but you don't know exactly how much, which means everybody's in that kind of, you know, drawing straws, but nobody ever shows the length of their straw, so nobody knows who's won or lost the game. You know?
Yeah.
And they like it like that because it's exciting, right?
Yeah.
Also, my
We're
bitrate
running
on
out
the
of
stream
things
is,
to
I was gonna
even
say,
like entice.
before we go any further, my bitrate is like KO'd on the stream. Is everybody still seeing it okay, or is
Mine-
it staggered? Or...
Yeah, mine's just fine.
Yeah, you're still on.
Good. Good. But yes, so yeah, I think the point is she needs some kind of almost reason to go beyond her saying, I want to go chat to the Elf Queen with a bunch of randos. Or just make her governor, right? One of the two. Whatever works for you.
Just TM.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I guess just DM, right?
how can we convince her that the world's literally going to end?
You
if we
don't need to. She has in fact said to you many times, everything you've promised her for her help involves a lot of time, and she believes you have told her there isn't enough time, so she's told you several times. Your offer isn't as good to me if everybody's dead by that point.
Well, I guess the idea is that you only live once, and you might die any day now, so may as well do this one last adventure. I don't know.
I mean, it's not the worst angle, but do you think platitudes are going to sell this woman? Her job is making people probably do stuff they don't want to do, right? And agreeing to things. So,
I don't know. Who wants to do what? We can just leave.
I'm up for just coming along with us, and we'll see where that takes us.
She doesn't want to come
Same.
along with us. though.
I thought she said she will, but she can't offer anything.
yeah, the last thing she said was that she can take it on faith alone if Kitlith believes truly that she has got the favour of the Elf Queen still, which an elf would know deep down, right? If an elf spent a lot of time to inflect, or to inwardly think about a lot of things, then
Okay.
they would know if the Elf Queen was like, you're a reject, right?
Fair enough. That's pretty concrete.
And that seems to come from Cyril's understanding of elves.
All right. Okay. Well, if she's down to come with us, then I guess we just go, and we just accept that she can't give us anything until we're done.
Mhm.
Till we-
You might want to actually solid in what she's going to give you, though, right?
That's true.
That's maybe something you want
Yeah.
before you just go in and she goes back and goes, well, I'll give you this cup.
I'll kind of, I'll just kind of
It's a nice
cough
cup.
in.
It's my favourite cup.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just kind of cough in. But so, what will you give us in return?
I didn't realize you had a price that I could buy you with, Paladin. Surely you wish something of me, more so than me buying you.
Yes, that's what I mean. What services what services can you offer us in return?
And she kind of looks to Arya, Kitlith, back to you, Crumbar, and then round to Dunderbella, and then the Bastille. Goes, you have asked for nothing but my support. Such nice dressing around a gift. But what is the gift you wish me to bequeath on you?
I would have you as an informant to keep us informed on Magnus' actions, and one step ahead should he interfere with our treaty.
I would have her help us at the Abyss.
What, just hand her a sword?
I'm sure she. I'm sure she. High Rock has guards or whatever and stuff.
Yeah, guess what
Maybe
they
like
are.
10.
They're the Royal Army of Magna.
Yeah, she's not a militarist in like.
I'm
No.
guessing there'll be private security and bodyguards and whatnot.
They're called mercenaries. And you want to know how much it'll cost for a mercenary to go to the Abyss?
How much?
Well,
Good luck.
who comes
Oh,
back
God.
from the Abyss? Who
But they're
sends
not
you
going.
guys?
But they're not going.
Yes, that sounds-
They're not going into the Abyss. They're just going.
Yeah, but the
beside
Abyss is
Abyss.
the area. It's like, right, guys, so hazard pay only counts if you fall in. If you're still, for the most part, safe on the side where all the demons are, but not in,
Mhm.
no hazard pay. Got it?
Right. Well, could she? Okay. Well, theoretically, could she afford said mercenary group?
I mean, I don't know. That would be asking, like, can I see your bank balance?
Yep.
That
Basically.
might, that might be the end of lunch, if you asked her that.
Mhm.
Mostly because that's an
Um,
incredibly rude thing to ask somebody.
Okay. Would you fund? I will just say back to her then. I'm like, would you fund a group of mercenaries to help us at the Abyss?
How many mercenaries do you think would make a difference at the Abyss?
As many as you can offer.
That isn't exactly a number. What if I could only offer one? Would it make a difference? Would this person's life just be forfeit the moment the money was handed over? If the paladins,
Well-
imbued by their god, might I add, struggle to hold back the tide of demons, what hope is there in a man?
It's not just the paladins that are there.
Yes, this coalition you're trying to construct.
2 wee seconds.
Crumbar brings out his dictionary. Coalition.
He's got his iPhone.
I'll say the Crusade. I'll just look at it and go. The Crusader Knight is also there.
Has she now?
Yes, we
Interesting.
met her. We met her and her companions as they were heading there. Surely this must point out the gravity of the situation. Or the magnitude. Ah!
Pop, pop.
You just had to say that, didn't you?
So she looks at you and she says, Sir Andromeda is a very curious appointment within the royal armies of Magna, and that is of interest. Her ability to count as one additional person fighting a horde of demons is not of interest. I think I would prefer an army of Andromedas. She sips her wine.
Well,
I mean,
send us an army then.
Again, how many? I'm not someone of a unending vault.
How many paladins of the Golden Order were in High Rock?
It varies all the time, right? Paladins are tasked with different things depending on what's there. So if there was like,
Standard garrison, shall we say?
there isn't really a standard garrison, but like there's always at least two people, I guess, in an
Alright.
order hall. One to like operate it and one to then investigate if something
Fine.
needs investigated. But there are less than 200 paladins total.
Okay. Then I would just say,
There's probably a
At
lot less now, actually, thinking about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
fine, I'll just say
And
to her
we're
then.
walking around looking like we're paladins as well.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, Kithlin and I, because obviously we're not.
If you just start spray painting more people gold and just calling them paladins just to fudge the numbers on the accountants.
Fine,
Yeah.
Sounds like something I'd do.
Yeah. Cook
I'll
the
just say
books.
to it. I'll just say to it, it's like, if you can afford to send 20 men, that would be ideal.
And what am I telling these men?
Start.
And indeed, what am I telling these men's families? Are they returning? Or are they just giving up their lives? Am I paying for them, for their widows, to live a comfortable life, minus their partners?
I just kind of lean in and look at her and be like, well, if they're worth the money, then they will come back alive.
If it were so simple, don't you think other mercenaries would be coming forward to offer their aid in the abyssal assault?
It's almost like you forgot that we almost didn't make it out alive. If
Yeah,
not for
but
the fact that Jill was like, hold them off, go, tell my dad.
It's a hard G, but yeah, Gil.
Yeah, I keep
Um,
saying that, sorry.
It's okay. Jill just is spelled with a J in my head, that's all.
I'll just say to her and just be like, the
Even-
order has not offered them money. That's why they don't fight.
So, you wish me to buy troops to send to their deaths at the Abyss? I can promise that can buy troops, but as to them listening to that order, I do not know if that is something they would even take on board.
You do not send them to their deaths. You don't hold soldiers in such light regard. I've been to the abyss. We all have, and we made it back.
And she leans back, and she says, yes, quite. Because I think this is new information to her, right?
It is.
I mean, did you tell her that you've been to the abyss?
I just
Uh,
did.
I don't think we've told
I just
her our
said
life
there.
story. So,
No, I think, like, there
yeah,
was
I
a-
think you just did.
Yeah, the Abyss stuff was withheld, and so was all the Armor stuff. So yeah, I think she just sits back with that, and she goes, I see. And she just, like, her entire body language says, please continue.
And like,
Says on, like, big LED letters going across her, like, fancy belt.
yeah, I'll just say
We
to
were
her,
sent
like,
there to investigate. Investigated.
I see. Was this before or after demons were pouring from it?
there's always demons
During?
pouring from it.
I believe not quite in so many numbers, though, right? I believe the paladins had the abyss well in check, and if I recall, there weren't any demon incursions of this scale ever recorded. So the rumors say.
No, that's kind of why we went, because of the increase in demon activity.
I see. So the demons were pouring out before your arrival? Or are you now going to tell me you're the cause of the demons?
No, they were there during.
I mean,
We were not
so-
the cause.
let me just rewind for you. That's a lie. Like, there were no demons.
Was there not? What about the big giant portal thing and then Eric
Yeah,
got the
that
hammer
happened
and
when
stuff?
yous got there.
Oh,
That wasn't
we
why
thought
you
that
just
was
went.
already open, and
I thought that was why we went.
No, you went because there was, like, bad juju coming from the abyss.
Oh, right, okay.
'Cause remember, the Great Gold Worm was like, yeah, I found you guys so you could go help out of the abyss. Go.
Mhm.
I mean, also, Celeste gave you visions of demons pouring out before any of that happened.
yes,
But that
That's
only
true
happened
as well.
when you witnessed the end of the ritual the guy with the red robes did to rip open space-time.
He is a cunt.
So-
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay.
And then big giant demony thing came through, and then Gil was like, "Go get my da," and he turns into a big dragon, and fights. Yeah.
he's so dead.
Yeah. Right. So, I think her reply says, "How did you survive this?"
I just kind of grin and just kind of like bang my hand on my chest and go, it's like, are you kidding? I am Crumbar. Nothing is stop me yet.
Hear me roar.
To be honest, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking as well. As you were saying that, I was like, oh god.
Then why are you at the other
Right.
side of the world from the abyss?
Because we are looking for help.
It's convenient that the help you're looking for is as far away from the abyss as your legs could carry you. I mean, no implication with this, merely pointing out that you are, if so unstoppable, you should be on the front line.
And I will be once I am finished here.
She smiles and goes, "Am I keeping you from your
Yes, it
heroic
is hard
death?"
to keep that one from a fight.
She kind of just smiles and laughs, I think, at that. And she says, "There is nothing wrong with having fire in the belly."
I just look at Bastille.
I think so does Dundrabella, awkwardly. And then she's still like twiddling her thumbs. And then Cyril looks back up and says, "I think you seem rather eager to fight, and I can respect that, especially given as it is all of our homes that are in jeopardy. But,"
I just kind of grin at that.
and she says, "but I feel like you seem to be pursuing any avenue that leads away from this fight at the abyss. I believe if I were a paladin of this order and shared such fervent faith in its motives, I feel like my place would be on the front line, given my influence and power and wealth. I feel like the only thing I could do would be to stand and face this with my own faith supporting me." She kind of like tilts her head and looks at you with slightly narrowed eyes.
Crumbar at that stands up,
Arya,
kind of like braced on the desk and chucks his sword over his back and adjusts himself.
As you're doing that, she goes, "Have I offended you, Paladin?"
And I just like kind of tap my tummy and go, no. You've made me realize I'm wasting time though. And then it's like, you know where we're going. And if you can
Be there
help,
on the-
and if you can help us, then join us. If not, you are no use to me. And on that, I would just walk out.
So like you just head through the curtains, leaving everything
Yeah,
else.
so I start leaving.
No, like, yeah, you leave. She's not going to stop you.
Yep, cool. Yeah, no worries.
Crumbar just didn't want to contribute to the cost of the meal.
Yeah, he skipped on the bill.
Okay. As Crumbar is walking by the table.
No, you're gone, buddy. You're gone. Right, so you're outside, right? So we'll leave you in narrative the void just now.
So yeah, narratively, I would just be okay.
Yep, chap, Scott, you're done. You walked away. Everybody else is still at
Yeah,
the table.
you're away. Go, bye.
So
Make me laugh when I'm
look
taking a
towards,
joke.
mute. God, joke off screen. Oh dear. Also, don't die.
Yeah, don't. As Grumbar does that, I'll be like, apologies. It's
Oh, I'm not offended.
It's actually really hard to keep him away from a fight. I would know. Kind of like give her like the tired look of like, oh god, a number of times I had to keep him in check, sort of thing. And that one time when he started fights with me and all that, like that sort of like very
And yeah, like
tired,
Cyril just like waves her
oh,
hand and she's like, I am not offended by his actions. He speaks from the heart. It may not necessarily be the most eloquent conversation I've ever had, but it is honest. And there is a respect to that exchange.
I nod and say, thank you. This is exactly how he is. He is very transparent, I guess. Might be the
Apish,
word.
gorilla-like,
Shh.
an orangutan. Oh.
Probably a bit too direct, as I'm sure you can tell. His heart's in the right place though, and sadly he was not blessed with a lot of well,
Oh my god.
patience.
Oh.
What did you say? Not blessed with a lot of what?
Patience.
Ah, that's a very,
And the
very nice way of
second
putting
he
it.
believes,
It was
yeah,
like brain cells.
Wow, savage.
yeah, that's a bit mean.
Yeah,
Good for you.
Bastiel.
I don't give a fuck.
You're not even real, Bastiel? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not have this fall apart. Yes, let's have the scene
And,
play out properly. So, I think she says, yes, again though, I think he does have a point. As nice as our lunch has been, I feel like our business is concluding. My
Indeed.
interest in your visit to this Elven Queen is great, and if I thought I could just depart the city, then I would. But I'm afraid I would need some form of justification to leave.
Hmm.
So as not to play my hand too openly with the rest of
Indeed.
my so-called peers. She's definitely been very conspiratorial, right? Like, she's basically saying,
yeah.
I can't just walk
I
into the
got her
woods. Yeah. Yeah. She needs, like, some kind of other reason that she could go to the Elf Queen without people knowing.
Okay. I don't quite know how I would.
Do a roll insight. Get a roll insight and try and work out what
this.
she means by that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
Let's have the
'cause
second
that
roll of the session.
confuses me as a. Oh god. True.
Yeah.
True. God, trying to click on my.
What
here
is character sheet?
Not working. Yeah. Ooh, this is actually not bad.
Oofed.
No,
Yeah,
since
it's
I
alright.
actually rolled. Oh, it
It's
was
good.
good.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, you get the impression that she's implying that maybe if she was taken against her will, with air quotes, she'd have a
Ooh.
reason to be able to just come back and be like, well, that's done now, and I've survived. Look at me, I'm that governor or that wannabe governor, that survived. Even I'm Freudian slipping for her. Her campaign. Think how valuable she'd be if she had been taken into the Queenswood and got out. Think how valuable she'd be as, like, somebody of power to say Magna, who may or may not appoint governors.
Yeah, but then we'd be criminals.
We are ready.
I mean, so, would you though? Because, I mean, she'd be the one saying who did it when she returned, right?
Oh, she wants us to be the saviors, not the.
No, she's literally, like, no.
As
You
well.
had it
No,
right the
but
first time.
Oh.
Yeah, you'd kidnap her into the woods.
Yes.
And
yes.
Then she'd get her audience with the Elf Queen and look like she had been captured, and then when she returns, it'd be like, so I got whatever I wanted from the Elf Queen, and I managed to free myself from my kidnappers, and I got out of the Queenswood all on my own because I am Cyril, motherfuckers. And then they'd be like, well, of course you're clearly better than this guy who you have technically made look awesome for a while.
Yeah, but then we would still be in trouble. And I think the last thing we want is to be
Who
like
would
on
put you in trouble?
freaking wanted posters. Oh, the people that would know we kidnapped her.
I mean,
No one would know that though.
right?
Would they? I mean, we're quite distinctive. If we
Just
freaking
don't
like,
wear gold armor when doing it.
we're still distinctive.
Okay, put a
Very
shawl over
distinctive.
Bastiel.
Clank,
A ghost
Clank.
stole her!
clank, clank, clank. Like.
I feel like that is less problematic than, like, you know, making her governor, right? Like, through murder and kidnapping, like you were almost on board with earlier. I don't know why
I
that's
mean,
so
that's
far-fetched.
what you think, Ryan.
I know.
But this is what she's implying. That's what you get from the insight roll on her, is that
Yeah,
she's kind of
okay.
implying the part where it's like, well, if I was taken against my will, I would have ample reason.
God.
Mhm.
Oh God.
I'm sure Crumbar still has rope, so
I think what we're taking from that statement is that Scott is not against that plan, even if he's not in the room to hear it. Since most of this is all what Arya gets at a glance and inferring from the conversation. I think she just like surely sits there and sips her wine. Just looking at you, kind of expecting a reply.
It's just the typical attitude of the person that's had and done everything in life, you know. Yeah, I'm rich enough to pretend to have been kidnapped and get out of this, like, you know, a friggin' winner. Whereas to most people, the entire idea of being kidnapped is like, holy fuck, no, that's like the worst thing.
Well,
you
she's
could
not
happen
really
to a
being
thing.
kidnapped though, right? She's
I know,
faking a
but,
kidnapping. What's better, right? The successful war hero to run your city, or just a random pencil pusher, right? Who's more votable, right? Badass war hero. And this is the closest she's gonna get to that, because she ain't gonna go willingly to the abyss. Because she'd die, quite frankly. Thoughts, gang?
So what you're saying is we should just go for a governor then, right? War heroes and all.
Mhm. I mean, what more have you won?
I'm joking.
Mhm. Yes, Joey?
I know. I'm joking.
Mm,
Oh, I think then the only thing I will say is like, that might require some decision making on our end. I'm kind of trying to imply that I don't know if we'd be up for that sort of thing.
yeah, I don't want to do that. That's a massive distraction from the cool thing we already had lined up.
Is it though? I mean,
Yeah.
literally it's just you kidnapping somebody willing to be taken,
Oh, it's just that, is it now?
and then you head into the Queenswood where it's unlikely anybody would follow you, to then drop the
I think-
kidnapping ruse, to then go to the Elf Queen, let her have whatever she wants to ask the Elf Queen, and then petition the Elf Queen for what you want, then you all just go your separate ways, right?
I mean, I'm up for it.
Why not?
But like,
So-
it's just if you want to do it, because that is obviously... The trust angle is you getting her safely through the woods, but on the counterpoint of that, she gets to hold over you the fact that you kidnapped her, right? And that's at least something she can play with.
We don't actually have to put on a
Sure.
display of her being kidnapped, right? We can just disappear with her like normal.
I mean, no, you kind of have to make it seem like she was being kidnapped. Otherwise, she could just leave.
Yeah.
Like, she could just find a wizard to give her invisibility, anything, and just leave. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was
But like,
intending to do.
if she's not kidnapped, then there's no justification for having abandoned her post.
Well, she disappears, and then when she comes back, she says she was kidnapped.
Yeah, but
Uh,
We could just
As you
leave
said.
like a ransom note on a thing. Like we have her. I don't know. Ransomy things.
so
we
Well,
want a
the
piece
note-
of soul.
dear people who weren't kidnapped, yes, we have who we kidnapped, and you know them and like them and value them. So there.
Want to try to take her position while she's kidnapped.
Like, where I think what the best way to look at this is, right, so from her political point of view, she wants some kind of collateral to come back with to be like, well, bam, I'm better to be governor because of these reasons. And at the moment, she doesn't have that. Otherwise, she'd be campaigning to be governor. And she's basically just said, here's how I'll come with you guys and then support you in any way I can. Keep in mind, she's probably like, if yous leads to her being governor, right? There's reason to say that deal still holds.
Mm.
I mean, it better.
Well, I mean, there is currently no deal other than she gets to tag along, right?
Mm.
But all that could be discussed, quite frankly, because, I mean, she's been pretty on the level with you guys, to be fair, right? She seems pretty up for most things. The idea of seeing the Elf Queen has really intrigued her, because, yeah, seeing the Winter King felt like too much of a pipe dream, whereas, like, you know, these are a couple of days, maybe years, depending on how well the woods go, travel away from the Queen. So that's obviously something on our doorstep, right?
Okay, so let's decide on the time to kidnap her.
Do you want to discuss this as a group without her present? So do you want to maybe just say we'd have to discuss such action with our, full team?
Okay.
I mean, I'm not just asking you because obviously you don't need to keep her here at lunch.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
So, what do you want to say to her? Because you're kind of waiting on your response. You have talked a lot in character.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd say this is definitely something that needs to be decided together with Crumbar as well. So we'll need to reconvene. Where can we find you? What would be the best way to convey to you the result of our discussion?
Make a reservation here. If we have, an agreement. And let's say it will be for evening meal, shall we? That gives you a good part of the day. And if you make this reservation, I assume we have an agreement. And if not,
yes.
Because I wish you well.
I nod my head in understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she stands and she kind of gently kind of bows her head to everybody. And she says, "Do not worry about the meal. This restaurant would not charge me even if I asked them to." And she just leaves.
Lol.
I should have tried the eel. We walk off.
Yeah. So yeah, she leaves. So Crumbar, you're pacing up and down outside. I think your colleagues join you.
I'm now wondering if the restaurant's owned by like her family or something.
That or who would anger? Who would dare charge the special advisor to the governor? Because what if they wanted a favor one day? Right, like planning permission to build another wing on their house.
Or to get their health and safety codes. Like, oh no, the health inspector.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't forget that politicians don't actually pay for their own meals. Like, they get a shit ton of
only
of money
up to 25 gold value, right? Anything else has to be
is that
refused.
An actual thing, or did you just decide it?
No, it's a joke. It's just about was it 25 quid gifts or whatever? Yeah, the bribery trading that I've done in the past. So,
lol.
Yeah, anything above 25 quid could be construed legally as a bribe. So anything.
Really?
Yeah, anything below that depends on the institute you work for. But yeah, for most financial institutes, yes.
Man, I wish somebody would give.
If someone's going to treat you to a lunch, if it costs more than 25 quid for the lunch, then yeah, it can be constituted as a bribe. Yeah.
I will remember.
Keep in mind, this is like when I worked in the financial institute.
I will remember this when needing to bribe people.
But anyway, so meanwhile, outside the restaurant, let's just say you start to maybe head towards the order hall kind of area of town again, right? Just to get some almost privacy, because that's probably a quieter part of town at the moment. What's the chat on the way, folks? I think Dondrabella's just like mulling things over as she's walking, maybe like half a step behind everything and catching up every now and then. And you know, like somebody texting on their phone type idea, but she's clearly deep in thought with no phone. And
Yeah.
she just says, "So does she want us to kidnap her?"
She does. Any expertise there? I know you've got a couple stories. Any of your 7 husbands ever kidnapped you?
Yeah.
Here's the tradition.
She just laughs. Goes, "Nothing I'd like to talk about so openly." Just looks at you pointedly and then winks.
Disappointing me. Time and time again, Thunderbella.
Hashtag roleplay, guys. The girl doesn't kiss and tell.
Okay.
Lips like stone. Yes.
Uh-huh.
I can't speak with stone. But yeah, so she kind of just shakes her head at that, and then she says, "So she must really want to see this queen."
Yes. I'm looking at her. Obviously, both thinking about
Yes, but I wonder
stalking
why.
the king. People do crazy things for their idols.
Do they?
There's a call cutting out.
No. I
She
just
didn't strike me as the sort of person that would do crazy things or have many idols.
Well, she's
Whatever
about
she wants, it's calculated.
Well, like as you're talking, I've just kind of got in and just be like, "So what is the plan? Are we Is she coming or are we going?"
I'll tell him, "Oh, you like this? She wants us to kidnap her."
Yeah, just kind of go like, these rich people and their weird fantasies.
I don't know if it's quite that, Dondrabella says, poking you in the side. She's like, "I think it's more just a saving face thing, you know? Like if she just leaves and wanders into the woods, maybe that's elven magic," and she waves her hands at you, like she's casting spells. And yeah, and she says, "And that's not so good, especially when somebody's got such pretty eyes." Talking about, obviously, Cyril. "That might just look like you're a bit, you know, bamboozled." And she looks over at Kitless and goes, "No offense, but if she's got, you know, oh, I was kidnapped and dragged into the spooky woods and then I was rescued, or I managed to fight my captors and escape because I'm so smart, that makes her look really resourceful.
And
I'd vote for her, in fact."
I just kind of look down at Dondrabella and just be like, rub my chin, and she's like, "You know what? She can tell whichever stories she wants, as long as she's coming with us. So she can say that, but where is she now?"
You have a lot of interesting tastes, Mr. Crumbart. She just winks at you.
I just kind of look at her and just like, "Tastes?"
"Oh, aye. Tastes." And she just laughs.
Or just like start picking at my teeth.
Yeah. Whoosh.
Just think about the times that like I tried to eat Kitty back when she was a cat.
None of us try that, to be honest. We try and forget that. The dark times.
They were fun.
So what's the rest of the party's thoughts on this plan in Bastiel and Kitlith?
I actually wanted to ask Kitlith. I'll ask her. Well, you're an expert at liberating goods from others. How do we liberate a living, breathing creature?
I've never had to kidnap someone before, surprisingly.
First time?
I mean, Eremos kind of kidnapped himself, so that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even want the kid,
Yeah.
so...
True.
Does
We
Kit
just
lift?
said adventure, and he was happy to come.
Oh, lucky. Does Kit lift's like bag? Does it look like it could fit a person?
It does.
My weight limit looked like it could fit a person. No.
The bag is teeming already. So no, it does not look like it could fit a person even if empty.
Okay. Oh.
Like, I think I said Cyril was
That's
about, what,
standing.
6 foot maybe? So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I want to defer to the thief for this Ocean's 11 plan.
I mean, you don't know her as a thief. I guess
Oh, no,
beyond the lock picking, she could just be an expert locksmith, right? For all you know.
No, I know her as a klepto.
I mean, do you though? I think you know Sophie has called herself a klepto.
Well, I'm seeing someone haul around a bag, like
That just means she lives on the road.
Yeah, I live on the road. It ain't like that.
And she could very well be a
Traveling merchant.
God, what's the word? Hoarder.
Mhm.
Hoarder.
Right.
Mm.
So here's how we do.
Like,
We-
you weren't with us from the beginning. I mean, we do know that at some point she did steal Crumbar's pamphlet, but that's simply because she was dread awful at it.
Hey, that's a matter of opinion.
Oh, it's getting one of those back has leave the town. Anyway,
Mhm.
so I guess we wait till it's dark, and then
Maybe change your clothes, Dunderbella says.
ninja.
Points at all of the
I'm not
shiny
gonna-
gold
yeah,
armor.
Shiny people.
Here's what. Okay, first of all, we need to decide who's actually going to go in the city. I can't stealth shit.
I mean, there's no reason why she can't meet us outside the city and say she got kidnapped outside the city.
Okay, so we get her to say she's going for a walk, and then we ambush her.
No, at that point we just go, right, come with us now.
We can actually discuss how we kidnap her once we meet with her for dinner, you know?
I mean, no.
I thought we just
so
left her to not do that.
the point, Arya, you might have missed is you have to make reservations, not actually go to dinner.
Oh, that was just a signal.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I really...
Because then it looked like she had dinner plans as well. Somebody who was getting kidnapped wouldn't have dinner plans, right? See?
Yes, yeah.
She has,
Yeah.
I mean, she's done okay to get to, special advisor to the governor.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
All right, so I'm not on the stealth team.
And I don't think
I'll be
Cromber is unless
waiting.
he strips. It does have clothes
Hey.
though, so you can just wear clothes and not your armor.
Ooh! Oh my God, Arya! Can't you use a wild transformation?
To do what?
Chase her off,
To
like
stealth.
eat her, like kidnap her as a panther.
Yeah.
What?
Like a wild animal.
Think of her return story, right? So Cyril comes in with like twigs in her hair and like a torn dress and shit like that. It's like, you will not believe what happened to me. I was kidnapped by a panther.
Yeah.
Like,
Um.
that's almost as ridiculous as 24 season 2.
Yeah.
I'm giving that show no more credit. That's it. That's all I got.
It really shouldn't have gone on for as many seasons as it did.
I mean, so when the plot is your daughter is chased through the wilds of America by cougars, you're done.
Yeah.
Anyway, meanwhile, in this game, so tell me how you're going to kidnap the politician.
I say we get her to tell her friends that she's going for a walk, and on that walk we ambush her.
Right,
Because
okay.
then that will get her outside of the city walls.
So it means you might have to fight guards, though.
Whereas if we're in the heart of the city, I feel like that's guards plus the general public.
At night time, it's unlikely to see the general public. But
Okay.
You're going to need to do it in some kind of way that people do see her be kidnapped, though. Otherwise, it's pointless.
Okay, Assassin's Creed style.
Like, it needs to be visible, right? That's the point. It's a shame none of you have Dimension Door.
Ideas?
None of us had done what, sorry?
It's a shame none of you have Dimension Door. That's
I
a spell.
wanted that during character gen, but it didn't make any sense whatsoever.
And now it does.
Do you mean leveling up?
Yeah.
If you're a cleric, though, you can just respec your spell list.
That's a level 6, I think.
Yeah, it's a 4th level spell. I don't know what level you need to be to get that.
4th level spell.
You got 4th level
Yeah.
magic yet?
Yeah, I do actually.
So what you're saying is you could get her 500 feet away with magic.
Check. Because I haven't seen that on my list. Anyway,
Don't know if
we
it
could
is
do
on the
that.
list.
So we need a timing, a location, an alibi. Then we need a way to escape guards once we do it. And also conceal our identity so we can't be hunted down.
Yeah, it's not a cleric spell, so you'd need to be able to get it some way. I don't know how you would
There
get
it is. Yeah, I remember. I didn't see that list.
It's not a druid spell either, sadly.
Yeah, it's more of a bard warlock thing.
Bard, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. Yeah.
All right. So thoughts? I'm the tank. I don't want to be planning this. Oh,
So-
Scott's gone mute.
No, it's because of the people outside his wonderful house with his audio. So, team,
Oh yeah.
plan. Yes, plan the kidnapping of this willing victim.
Here's what we do. We could also neutralize the guards before we go in. Either with some kind of sleep.
Remember, you need to have witnesses, otherwise it's
Yeah,
pointless.
but
so
not
making
the
people
guards. They don't have to be the guards. The witnesses don't have to be capable of beating our asses to a pulp.
Why don't we just leave a ransom note?
because she's obviously thought and dismissed this, otherwise she wouldn't ask you to kidnap her.
No, but that's what I mean. We kidnap her.
No, but like
Leave her
she could just leave and have left a ransom note. Right? She could just put on a big cloak and run out the city. But she obviously doesn't want to do that. She needs it to be very public.
Ah, right, okay.
Otherwise, her triumphant return will mean nothing. It also implies people would pay the ransom note. Remember, she has no friends, as she said. If anything, it's possibly just likely that politically she was removed by rivals, right?
Right.
The good thing is she might actually learn who was after her position and who might have tried to kidnap her anyway by doing this, so it's quite clever on her part.
Let's make a list somewhere. How can I make this list?
Yeah, very good politically.
Do it in just roll 20. May as well have it visible for everybody.
We
Okay.
could also spin it as we fake kidnapped her to try draw out the real kidnapper, so we weren't actually the bad guys.
I mean,
You know, it's all over.
yeah, like she's probably going to spin it regardless, right? Like she wants to help you guys. She was very open about happily helping in whatever way she could, so long as it was worth something to her. If you guys help propel her into a better political position, she's offered a way to try that, right? You've went, oh, we could take you to see the Elf Queen. She goes, yeah, you could actually, but how would I justify going to see the Elf Queen, which is technically also probably treason? So, yeah, if I'm kidnapped and like heroically rescue myself, I'll look badass. And who likes people that are self-governing powerhouses? Magna. So will he want this pomp and, comfy governor, or will he want badass Cerule, escaper of the Queenswood?
Yeah. I see.
Mm.
Yeah.
And obviously only she will know the identity of her would-be kidnappers, truly, right?
That's good. Because then we can have leverage over her. Be like, yeah, no.
Oh no, the point is she'll have leverage over yous as well, because she could just name yous as the kidnappers. That's why it's a good deal
but
for
we
her.
could also be like,
Yep.
this is a complete hoax.
I mean, yous are also nobodies by comparison to her, though. I mean, to be fair though, yous have, like, some of yous have met the Grey Gold Worm, and that is bitchin' by comparison to what she's achieved, right?
Yeah.
Right, so there we go. We've got, what is it, time, location, disguises, and the guard strategy, right? So
Time, day.
Yep.
and then location, public. So
Are we going inside the walls or outside?
I mean, it probably needs to be inside the walls, right?
Okay, inside.
Kit Lithnos is somewhere super public. I said, you know, somewhere super public this could happen.
Garden?
Krispy Kreme.
Yep.
Where?
Nice fancy garden. Literally
Oh,
just right
right.
outside the restaurant.
Okay.
Forever ruining the restaurant's reputation as well. Yay!
No, because it's not right outside it. It's like
I'm joking.
it's a significant distance away to the point where it would take like a 5-minute walk to get to the gardens of the city. Yes. But Dondra Bella really liked the gardens because it was, you know, a big fancy decorative lush thing that didn't really serve a purpose, and she was amazed by that.
Bless her.
I mean, everything in Forge was carved out of Forge for a reason. You don't just carve out stuff to have space. You carve it out for a purpose. So the idea of having a big decorative space that just is decorative is crazy.
What if we used that giant insect spell to make it look like a bunch of bullshit just came out of the forest and seized her?
Remember that kind of comes under the you let bugs take you, and there was a panther attack. This was very season
Literal
2.
bugs.
So right, here's the thing. What do you have, right? As a party, what are you capable of? Why don't you review what you actually can do? Because you have a druid that can literally have any spell in the druid list.
Let's see.
She just needs 8 hours, right? You've got a cleric who can have any cleric spell. You just need 8 hours. So you used to have the entire spell lists at your disposal up to your level, which I think is up to 4th level magic.
Which is really hella good.
It's crazy powerful, right? So why don't you both have a look at what you can manage? Because I feel like you seem to be looking at it from what would normal people do to make this happen. None of you are normal people.
I only have like this murderous energy and healing. I don't really have a utility. I have Wall of Fire.
Sorry, 1 second. Cleric. Right, let me go look at some cleric spells. Cleric spells by
I don't
level.
have a teleport.
Let's see what we've got. Let's find some level. I just want to see what is a level 4 in terms of being a cleric.
Now I could use Wall of Fire to create a massive barrier between us and the guards once we run away.
See, when we're super famous on Twitch, this is when we can have chat, like, be crazy with our suggestions for what spells to use. Right, so we've got Arcane Eye, Aura of Life, Aura of Purity, Banishment, Blight, Charm, Monster, Compulsion, Confusion, Conjure Element, like minor elementals, Conjure, Woodland Beings, Control Water, Death Ward, Dimension Door, that's not a... We established this book, it's not a cleric spell. Divination, Dominate Beast, Elemental Bane, Evard's Black Tentacles, let's not have that. Fabricate, Find Greater Steed, Fire Shield, Freedom of Movement, Giant Insect, Grasping Vines. Let's not have Gravity Sinkhole.
I would do Find Greater Steed and just swoop her up, but I can't. That's a paladin spell.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at like 4th level spells in general just now. Guardian of Faith. Guardian of Nature, Hallucinatory Terrain, Ice Storm, Lehman's Secret Chest, Locate Creature, Mordenkainen's Faithful Hound, or Private Sanctum, Outlook's Resilient Sphere, Phantasmal Killer, Polymorph. Who gets Polymorph? Druid gets Polymorph. Interesting.
Yes. I could turn her into a rat. And we could fake that we like disintegrated her, but she just scurries off to meet us in the forest later.
That doesn't really, they would just replace her though.
Oh yeah.
Remember, the point is to be publicly kidnapped so she can triumphantly return. Coming back from the dead, they just like, what? So you faked that?
There's a caveat here in that we can't kill innocent people.
I mean, that is an assumed caveat. It isn't actually there.
We lose the game if we kill innocent people.
Right,
There are
okay.
alignment checks. We forfeit our character.
Okay,
Right.
cool. Right, okay, sure. Like, you'll just have to restart. You have to load an earlier save, sadly, if that happens.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
What else have we got, right? So, polymorph's a thing that you or somebody else could have, right? So, I don't mean you, I just mean somebody could be polymorphed by the druid. What's that?
Aya, what do you think?
I mean,
Oh, go on.
I don't know. I mean, it would work. We could use our arsenal of magic to create, at the very least, a diversion and
Yeah, okay.
escape
What do
sort
you
of
want to do?
mechanism.
Man,
How do you
if
wanna
only
do
one
that?
of yous was a wizard, because we've got summon greater demon. Oof.
I hate you.
That'd have been so
You actually
good.
lose control of the demon.
Yeah.
Something really minor.
But then the other person takes the compulsion spell.
Oh.
Somebody summons demon, other person controls demon, sends demon to go grab, politician, really then reinforces the need to fight back, because obviously she came back as a victorious person that, fought her way back from being kidnapped by a demon. Of course, the idea of like getting all the rich people to protect themselves from demons by hiring all of the world's mercenaries to send to the abyss to fight them so they don't get kidnapped. That's an amazing plan. So who wants to tell Claire if she's joining us she's a warlock or a wizard? Because that's the only two that get that spell.
Yeah, built for purpose.
What else have I got here? Wall of Fire means you could then start to like make sure nobody could get to you, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
You could
That's
throw
what
up.
we were thinking.
The only thing is, it is only like so long, but it is one of these. You could cover the gate with Wall of Fire, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking of like a portcullis.
Yeah, you could easily like just block off the view so you could escape into the woods or whatever, stop any pursuit.
Yeah.
And then I think we run out of cool options at that point, because I think that's pretty much all the spells at level
Yeah.
4. Level
Yeah,
3 might offer some options as well, but like mostly it'll be things similar like walls of water, and various other things.
Yeah.
Wall of Sand, apparently. It's a wizard spell, never mind. Tiny Servant, that's also a wizard.
I love that one.
Just tidal wave everybody. Thunderstep, actually. That's a... damn it. I got excited. I thought maybe a druid could Thunderstep. It's a warlock, sorcerer, or wizard spell. Summon Lesser Demon. The warlock or wizard. God damn it. You really need a wizard.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that.
Only for your kidnapping politicians problems, though.
DC'd. Fuck. DC again.
No, you're still here. Oh well. Maybe he has DC'd in his own way.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Oh.
Right.
Alright, any thoughts?
Mostly that you need a wizard.
Where's
Just having...
Scott? Where's Titty? Where's Aya?
I'm here.
They're all here.
But
Can
I'm
we
a
get
paladin.
Please? Please?
What's that?
We need ideas for this.
It is a...
Have a go walk in the park. We kidnap her.
Okay.
Wall of fire. Okay, how about this, right?
I like that idea actually. That was going well.
How about
I've got something I want to check. 1 sec. Because we could just very well go freaking old school about this, right?
what? Throw her in her bag, put her over my shoulder, run away?
No,
Okay,
unknown rider throwing her over a horse riding out of the city.
Well, I was going to say,
Yeah.
random orc attack. I'll go in butt naked, grab her, make it out as if I'm a raging orc, and just run away with her.
Sorry, what in that sentence was raging?
subscribe to Patreon and find
Yeah.
out.
Speaking of subscribing to Patreon, this is a great point to jump in and say we have a Patreon. If you'd like to support my endeavours of storytelling bullshit and kidnapping innocent people, carry on. Innocence may be a stretch, but yeah.
Also,
Well,
donate 69p to the link below.
all right. What if we use your giant insects as mounts? I don't know how fast they are.
Erupting Earth is also a 3rd level spell.
Mhm.
That'd be a
No,
good
what
way
I
to
was
discourage
thinking
things.
is I can transform myself into a warhorse because it's only got a challenge rating of a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can transform myself into a warhorse, and then somebody could be a mysterious rider, then like out of a sudden like puts a knife or a rapier at her neck and like pulls her onto the horse and like or knocks her out and pulls her on the horse. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah. All right. Let's
And
do
then
that.
others like
Not to put
are
ideas
in
in your
charge
head,
and
but you
making
could
sure that the
you could call lightning,
um
and then that way, as a horse, you could double your capabilities to discourage people following you.
Mm-hmm. We need someone to like cover, like the guards actually just gunning us down with arrows.
I feel like you've got quite a good person for that already.
Me?
Yeah, Kitlith, obviously. The ranged expert, as opposed to Crumbar, who's probably going to be on the horse, let's face it.
Well, you got missile snaring and stuff.
No, she's just able to shoot guards, so they're distracted, that's all. And is a
Right.
rogue class, so could probably hide the best.
yeah.
Like, my character is made for this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it characters made for not for like the scene in 300 where Leonidas gets turned to Swiss cheese?
No, because she'll position herself smartly, obviously.
Details.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, sure. All right, let's do this.
First of all, I
No.
love it. Second of all, what's even happening? Third of all, let's do this. So also, so
Aria
like,
turns
yeah,
horse.
like if I was doing this, right, so if I was a player in the gang, right, obviously I'd be a sorcerer, so I'd have more options for you guys, like just dimensioning door out. But in the failing of that, and I'm just an observer, like, casting Call Lightning means you get 10 minutes of shooting lightning everywhere, and then you could turn into a horse and shoot
Yes.
lightning everywhere for 10 minutes. That limits your time to grab her, though. So you probably need to be incognito in the park, summon lightning everywhere, then jump into horse mode to escape with incognito Crumbar, who's just going to go, Witcha! And grab her. Toss her on the back of this horse that's came from nowhere. Anyone that's like, wait, what's happening? Lightning them in the face. And then run away.
I will need a poncho to work.
Aha. But also, who in their right mind would blame lightning during a kidnapping? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And also random horse from nowhere. Then just have people like Kitlith and Bastiel cover you guys. Ideally with spells of covering.
Yes.
It's not the worst plan. It's not a great plan, but like this is why I'm glad I'm not a party member currently.
Yeah.
Dondra Bella can contribute to this in no way. She's short and small. And also slow. So I think she's waiting at the edge of the woods, quite frankly, for this plan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'll wait with
absolutely.
her.
Yeah, that's probably sensible.
Alright. So that's what we do. We stack hoarseness and lightning with Crumbar, who will muscle her onto the horse.
And keep in mind,
You
she's
guys
not
run
going to
out.
resist, right? She's going to full resist.
Yeah. You guys run out, and I'll lock off the exit with Wall of Fire. And that'll be the first checkpoint. Then we actually run into the forest.
Yeah,
with
that's where
Kitty.
Kitlith needs to lead you guys in, yeah.
Yeah.
And hope that kidnapping somebody with their permission doesn't lose you favour with the queen.
Oh,
It's so ridiculous, but it's also just so valid as an RP plan.
it's so
Right.
good.
Yeah.
It's not kidnapping, it's roleplay.
So, is this the plan?
Yep.
Any alterations to the plan?
Not from me. Do you want us to type it up in order?
I
Or
think
do
you
we
should
actually
maybe
act
type.
out?
I think you should type it up in Roll20 just so you remember.
Okay.
What I just heard there is Shan's going to type it up in Roll20.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
The big issue is we can't do it tonight because I don't think I have polymorph on my list or call lightning on my list right now.
That's
Yeah.
okay. We don't need to do it right now.
No,
We're
because
waiting for the day.
yeah, you're gonna need to wait 8 hours to re-prepare yourselves anyway. Because yeah, you'll need to re-prepare your lists for this stuff to work. That is an assumed piece of the puzzle. The difference is though, you can obviously make dinner arrangements, and then you could leave a note with said dinner arrangements to obviously meet up with her somewhere secluded to maybe explain any of this to her, or not. But then why would she be in the garden, right? When you need her to be. So
Why would you not? Maybe she's just out for a nightly stroll or whatever.
I mean, she had her stroll in the morning. It's where you accosted her in the alleyway. So
That'll cost her a kidnapping.
I mean, ideally. And such a ridiculous plan, but I kind of love it. Also, you might want to give her time to, like, wear everything she needs for traveling on that particular day. Wasn't it convenient she was kidnapped with sensible shoes that day? You know?
Aria Prime School Lightning.
Ari doesn't need to do any of the stuff I suggested. I just thought it'd be cool if I was the druid, I'd do that.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. Because then it discourages her just getting mowed down.
Yeah, because, not only are you a running horse, but you're a running horse mentally saying, zap that guy, for 10 minutes. So it's really, you've got like a 10-minute escape window before Call Lightning dissipates.
I'll make the way to the concealed location within the walls where Aria primes her Call Lightning and transforms into a horse.
It's such a ridiculous. See, the way we're thinking about it is so unnecessarily elaborate.
Yeah, goes.
I love it.
I mean, let's put it this way: like, if we just got a horse from somewhere, we would have to return it.
Also, it might get
point.
scared of the lightning.
Could eat it.
Well, when I initially thought of this, lightning wasn't in the thing,
Yeah.
but yes, that too. If we were to
but you
buy
look so
an
much cooler with
expensive
lightning.
horse, like an actual war horse that wouldn't be freaked out by lightning, then there's not going to be a lot of those around. And if they happen to have, like, I don't know, white mark on their belly somewhere, like somewhere, they happen to be very distinctive, then people would immediately like tie the events together of like us buying it and then that horse being used in a kidnapping of their big lady, so it was immediately known, it would be immediately known it was us. But so that's why I was like, well, I have to be the horse then because nobody's seen this horse before.
Mm-hmm. But a very unique horse, yeah.
So it's a horse.
It will be like plain black, like black altogether, no socks, no star, no
I think it's called, was it Priest Sock Black? Yes. If just we quote, Father Ted.
oh, that would not be.
It's just, there's a joke in that about how, normal black socks aren't, dark enough. You need Priest Sock Black. That's the darkest. Nothing else will do for the clergy. Okay.
But yeah.
So the plan, we're just waiting on that, getting input into Roll20. And we shall see.
With fire and...
Is any
rush
while he's typing this, is MD not up for the plan? I think is a more
mental.
important thing.
Yeah, that should be discussed actually.
Fire.
What was that, Sophie?
I'm fine with it.
Sounds alright, doesn't it?
Yeah, for the most part.
I mean, it's happening, so.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you roll double ones on a perception check, Crumber.
I'm actually wondering what would have just happened if I went, oh, you're not her, sorry, bye.
right?
Oh.
It then harsh cuts to that reality, and that Crumber is being pulled apart by vines in the fucking horrible nightmare forest.
Where are you? Roll 20.
Wabam. Right, have her waiting at the collection point, daytime disguise. Crumbar and Arya make their way to concealed location within the walls, where Arya primes call lightning and transforms into a horse. Meanwhile, Caitlys is positioned to disarm or distract any remaining threat guards. Once they leave the city walls, Bastille locks off the exit point with a big wall of fire, or rush to the Queen's Wood with Caitlys leading the way. Plan. Any additions, anyone?
So dumb.
That sounds good, but silly.
Cartoonish. I love it.
I mean, what else if not to have a bit of fun with your 4th level magics, right? Also, I'm just going to pop that in there, just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Right, okay, cool. Any last minute additions to that plan, guys?
Any
No.
last words before executed publicly?
So, that's fine. That works for me. I think with that, everybody just nods, right? And you all know what you have to do, and that's the scene that I think the session ends on. So, what would you like to call this session? Because I'm definitely calling the last one Squid Pro Quo. But I feel like
Hide and seek.
it could easily be value. Like, I think that might be next session though.
Hmm.
Like, this session could be Squid Pro Quo. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it needs to be that. Anything better than Squid Pro Quo?
What was like the main point? We successfully convinced. We essentially got a new party member.
Yeah, like you've basically taken on board a bit of an escort quest in the hopes that she will then be in a position to give you loads of help later, right? So really, she should hopefully get you guys support, because if she comes back and proclaims how dangerous the Abyss stuff is, she could probably get everybody to buy mercenaries, right? It's in a massive army down south. Or you guys technically get arrested for actually kidnapping this woman that died in the woods on the way.
Hmm.
You know? We could always put let's see. Subterfuge with
Has the Queen's Woods got like fey spirit stuff, or is it like wild?
one of those as well for the session title. Cyril Subterfuge, or Subterfuge with Cyril. Squid Protocol. Yeah, like it could be one of those as well. What are we thinking?
I like that because it has squids in it, and that's close to eels, and that's what we were eating.
Yeah, I think that might be the session then.
Yeah, that was the highlight.
Well, it's more like the quid pro quo comment, really, right? You do something for me, I'll do something for you.
Yeah.
I think that works.
Okay.
Right? So that's the session's title, right? Let me get rid of the other options then that don't matter.
Yep.
Well, that works for me. Okay, so we've got a session name. I'll pop that into the chat, or the documentus. Let's have a look at goals.
What were goals again?
What are goals?
Almost at a couple of them. None finished.
Is that the same for everybody? Sorry.
I don't think there's a chance we can get the Khan to help with the Abyss now, to be
Who's
honest.
the Khan?
Yeah, I think that one is failed, so I think we should just get rid of that one.
Okay. Yeah.
And remove, and the goal that we should put in instead should just be kid. I'm going to put this in kidnap.
Yeah, like fake kidnap.
What's her name again?
Cyril.
Cyril.
You were going to say Dakana.
Cyril successfully. That's what I'm suggesting. Kidnap Cyril successfully.
It's not the worst, yeah, because I'm assuming that's the implication that it's all fake and all that jazz. Yeah. So yeah. There you go. I think that makes sense, yeah. Anybody else got anything they would rather like reslot? Any other goals? Because remember, we only do them at the end now. Do you want to pursue or replace investigate? 'Cause I feel like the next 3 need to stay, given that your plan is to get to the woods, right?
Yeah, 4's going to take a little while. But I don't have anything to replace it with.
I mean, it's not going to take as long as you take to kidnap this woman and then travel through the woods, right?
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Yeah, if that's the case then, if nobody wants to change any goals out beyond what we've just got investigate who or what the Mistress of the Flame is, make it to the Queen's Wood, gain an audience with the Elf Queens, glyph acquire Elf Queen's aid, with this problem, kidnap Cyril successfully. Plan? Cool. Excellent. Right.
Sounds good.
In that case then, talk me through it then, guys. Who, let's just start with Crombar.
Yeah. It's, to be honest, I'm happy that things are actually starting to go in motion now, because felt like we were going in circles for a wee bit. So the fact that it is now resulted in us basically pulling off the intro scene from Final Fantasy IX and kidnapping somebody, yeah, sounds good.
I don't know, it's a Final Fantasy X wedding invitation party thing as well, though, right? Because you're gonna like baller your way into the fancy gardens to rescue Yuna from her fake wedding.
Oh my god, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is gonna be fun.
It's gonna be something, right? Most definitely something. How? No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good. Anything else you want to add?
I love you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, buddy. You're loved too, buddy. Yeah. But is there anything else you want to add beyond that? Are you good?
Not right now. Oh, not right now.
Okay. Arya.
I was sure you're gonna say me next, and I was trying not to sneeze for the past like 40, 50 seconds. So I don't quite know how to feel about this because, well, I still don't think Arya is very good at the figuring out political diplomacy, how we do things, why we do things, etc. So
I mean, you're one of the
I think
nobility
for
now,
her,
though.
this was a bit.
You're gonna have to get used to this.
Well, no, but I'm dwarvish nobility. Like they're almost like common people. Like they're like nice and down to earth. Oh god.
Keep in mind the other nobility in this city is dwarven, so yeah.
Yeah, but the ones we met were all like nice and down to earth and common sense sort of thing, not like I am better than everybody because I am noble.
I love your impression of a noble person.
It's good. Yeah.
Anyway, so this was all quite complex for me because I was trying to figure out. I was like, okay, I'm not sure I, the player, understood exactly what's going on here. Would Arya, the character, do that? But anyway, we then got to planning mischief, so that was really fun.
Yeah.
Even though the plan we came up with is really silly.
I mean, doesn't he
yeah.
say
I like the part where you're going to be a horse.
A lightning shooting horse.
A war horse.
Mm-hmm.
Not just any horse.
No, I'm sorry. I forgive. I apologize.
Yes. I don't forgive you though.
Wow.
Anyway. Well, yeah, so that's a really cool thing that I really liked. I always like the planning of mischief. So I think that's my favorite aspect of any session.
Oh, that would have been a good title, the planning of mischief.
No. I like the one we have, Shush.
So I've got, for 56, I've named it High Life and High Rock, and since she's basically just dined out expensively, most of it. And the other one's obviously going to be Squid Pro Quo. It's just so good.
Yes. But yeah, that was fun, and I can't wait for next session. We'll implement all the madness.
Yeah, like the fuck. It's gonna be good. Astiel.
I'm glad we took a shitty role the NPC out of that, and we turned it into this.
You're welcome.
It was a good. It was a little gem we managed to dig out of a bad roll. That was cool.
Yeah, I liked it. Any excuse to kind of get you mingled with some interesting NPCs of the world, right?
Yeah.
It's good.
Uh-huh.
How's Bastia feeling about Celeste's faith in these people?
I feel like actually, because the last thing she ever did was tell him to live. Kind of the rush, the excitement of doing something so spontaneous actually kind of appeals to him.
Good. I like it.
Yeah.
Some actual growth. Man, wow. It's good.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Usually growth is when people are acting more mature, not more like reckless and childish.
No.
Nah,
Like,
be reckless.
No, I was going
It's
to say,
Mad Men.
growth is growth. It doesn't mean you say mature. It's just, evolution of character. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, good game.
It was good. Thank you for playing. Gidlith.
I quite like the idea of coming up with like how we're going to kidnap her.
Yeah.
I didn't honestly the beginning. I say the beginning, like when I came into it, we was all just sat around chatting about stuff, and now it's sort of progressed to we're going to kidnap her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all fake, but like, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah, it still
How
needs,
did-
it needs to look
yeah.
real. Yeah.
What's happening?
The good thing is, though, it puts both of you in a position of leverage, which is ideally where she'd rather be, right?
Yeah.
So it makes her more comfortable about the journey, and she was willing to trust your instincts as an elf, which probably says a lot about her opinion of elves, actually. So yeah, that's good. I like that. I cannot wait to see how the kidnapping goes. I honestly can't wait. Like, part of me's a bit gutted that we don't have a Claire to cringe at what she's getting involved in, But here we are, for now at least. I'm sure she'll love the fallout of whatever you guys end up
I
doing.
like the idea of us just being like, yeah, sorry, Claire, we've done this. You deal with it.
This is your problem now.
Yep, we're now wanted. Join us or die. Anyway, anything else to add?
Nope, all good.
I mean, you're not Ketleth Scott, so we should...
Oh, I thought that was it, right? That was it.
Right.
yeah, this wasn't about you, mate.
So Ketleth, anything else to add?
No, I think that's it.
Okay,
for
okay.
now.
Well, thank you everybody for playing. This was a lot of fun. Thank you everybody that watched us. That was very kind of you all. Thanks to the guys that raided as well. We assumedly play this every Friday. Join us to see how the kidnapping goes. Bye.
Bye.